up, RotoGrinders? Welcome to the NFL Pick 6 Show. Week 12, two of the absolute best in the business. We got John Daigle from ETR to establish the run. Rich Hribar, of course, from Sharp Football Analysis. Pick 6 Show, we focus on the three main games of the main slate. Run it back and talk about our favorite plays, position by position. It is 11 games this week. Denver, the Chargers, Miami, and Washington. Is Silva calling right now, Daigle? What's going on?
Still, 10 years later, still doesn't know the schedule. Yes, Silva's calling me right now. I'm not going to answer.
Answer it.
No.
Hello.
No, he's not doing anything. I'll call him after the show.
Friend of the show, Silva. Used to be on the show.
Yeah.
Still doesn't know the show schedule. Still doesn't get it.
Oh, all right.
No, he's not watching us, to be fair.
Hopefully Silva's doing well. Yeah, this is the benefits of watching the visuals, watching us on YouTube. If you're listening, you're like, what just happened? Why was the show completely derailed? I saw Daigle was showing his phone up to the screen. So, yeah, hit that like button. You guys are watching on the YouTube. Subscribe, turn on notifications, get comfortable. We're going to be talking about the movie Arrival later on in the show. Looking forward to that. But that's way after the football, like an hour and a half of football as far as Week 12. Rich, Denver, the Chargers, Miami, Washington on bye. 11 games, 7 early, 4 late, some really tasty ones and some really gross ones. I think you can disperse like what's the, as far as the 11 gamer, there's some bad ones. There's some ugly ones, some pretty good ones too, though. So we'll discuss. And I know you were talking about, and welcome to the show. You were talking about receiving. We're missing a lot of the big name receivers from the start of the season to week 12.
Yeah, basically, if you look at preseason ADP, we're missing a third of the top 36 receivers this week, whether it be suspension, the laundry list of guys that are hurt, and bye weeks. I mean, we're down a lot of the field this week. We're playing some gross dudes, trying to jam in some cheap dudes here this week.
Yeah, it's it feels pretty ugly, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna do the best we can on a Wednesday night.
And the NFL sucked the last 2 weeks. Like it's like passing has been terrible, and now we're removing a third of the field.
Well, I mean, Jacoby Brissett disagrees, but everybody else,
Bryce Young and Jacoby Brissett,
and nobody else can figure it out. But you know what? Everything is going to change because it's Kirk Cousins' season. Michael Penix, of course, done for the year. Kirk Cousins and Drake London's not going to play also, so that's going to be pretty ugly as far as the Atlanta passing game. Yeah, and Tyrod Taylor also is going to be throwing footballs this week too. So
we're not worried about
Shador.
We're not worried about Tyrod, but I am glad that Panthers 49ers game is not on this slate because it would just give us 8 other options to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 49er games are going to be pretty fun with how bad their defense is and how good their offense is. They're going to be fun going forward for sure. But that's I believe the Monday nighter, if I'm not mistaken. No Tampa, no Rams, of course. That's the Sunday night game. No Buffalo, Houston. That is the Thursday night game. Daigle, how are things? Welcome to the show.
Doing well. Could not have been more right or wrong last week. Called Greg Dortch, but also disregarded Michael Wilson, who led the entire league in receiving yards for the entire season, by the way. 185. Jacoby Brissett, doubt we're going to get 57 pass attempts, maybe ever again. But the Cardinals are becoming fun in that they are the Arizona Bengals. They are carrying us through garbage time at cheap pieces. So I'm sure all of them will be discussed again once we get to the positional plays.
Did Kyler Murray just lose his job? Are we even concerned about if he's healthy or not healthy? Is his job just lost at this point? At least for now. I know it's a mega contract and who knows?
I feel as if he's on IR, and whether it's a soft IR to get out of the way to play Brissett more, I don't really think, though, it's about looking at Brissett. I just think they're trying to function their offense and see what happens when they remove Kyler Murray from the equation as they get to the offseason, because it is going to be a tumultuous offseason for Murray.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned Shazer Sanders. He's going to be drawing the start there for the Browns. I'm sure there's plenty of other shows, mostly probably non-fantasy related, covering that. We're probably not going to discuss that much from a fantasy perspective, unless we're talking defenses. We don't really talk defenses a heck of a lot, but yeah.
That game, I was looking to see if there's a sack prop, see if we could do Miles Crosby plus Miles Garrett, or Max Crosby plus Miles Garrett sack props, because both quarterbacks take so many sacks. The Browns have a 20% sack rate the last 3 weeks too as a team. It's like, man, could this game have double-digit sacks?
That's pretty insane. What was the stat that I saw? Is this correct? You probably know this. was it 11% of the dropbacks for opponents for Denver ends in a sack? Is that right? Is Denver sacking their opponents 11% of the time? Am I making that up? Is that
I think it's higher actually.
higher
right?
than that? I talking about how was it maybe Denver or Houston? I'm getting confused now, but they're both two of the best defenses in football. But okay,
but like I said, the Browns last 3 weeks are at 18.9% sack rate.
Is Myles Garrett the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year? I haven't looked yet.
I think he is, only because the numbers. He's on track to break the sack record. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. He might get it Sunday. Unless Crosby gets it one game.
They should let them both play both ways. Let them play both ways and see how many sacks they can rack up. It's like a Travis Hunter kind of thing. Or I guess play all-time defense for both sides. But yeah.
But yeah, like Browns, I think on DraftKings are 2,900.
Oh, that seems pretty good. Yeah, I think we're gonna be.
I think the Raiders are kind of juiced, aren't they? Wow, so look at us start off with defense. Talk here.
I've not dug into the defenses. I in my head, I'm like, yeah, give me one of those defenses. But I've to be honest, I've not dug into the prices. Vegas is 3.5. Yeah, despite getting giving up 33 to Dallas on Monday night. Typically, they don't. You're not supposed to change the prices after Monday night. That's what I'm told. But they were ready. They were ready for.
They just saw the Browns on the schedule.
Okay, let's talk about a more. That's it for our Cleveland Raiders coverage, I believe. You guys.
I may have one more play from there.
Get out of here! I can't wait. What a tease! What a tease! Now I'm so excited.
Now everyone's got to stick around.
First game, as chosen by John Daigle. He always has the honors. Always does it for us kindly. New England at Cincinnati. Cincinnati getting 8.5 points at home. 50.5 is the total. I don't know. We're assuming. How do you want to handle this, Daigle? Because we saw that Burrow practiced today, and I know Dan Orlovsky at least is like on TV saying like, well, if the man's practicing full practice, why is he going to play this weekend? We'll see. The Bengals might be show some precaution here. Flacco otherwise. I don't know if that's the lead story, but it's of note, I suppose. Patriots, Bengals. We love picking on the Bengals. Drake May. Speaking of accolades and awards, is he still the front runner for MVP? It might be Stafford now, but he's right there. This seems like a good team to pad the stats against. Daigle, how do you feel about Patriots, Bengals? Start wherever you want to start.
Maybe Stafford, but Drake May did absolutely nothing wrong on Thursday night. Also, the Patriots' schedule is so simple, as everyone I'm sure has seen already the rest of the way, that they're just going to cakewalk into the playoffs, and we'll probably have a chance to bet against them, even though I don't personally want to bet against Drake May. I love seeing the Patriots evolve and Drake May continuing to grow. Having said that, it's just an easy spot, and it's one you can pick your poison with the Patriots offense. It's a little bit scarier to play Drake May just because with all the shuffling pieces, this includes Kayshon Boutte already practicing in full on Wednesday. We're just not sure how the target tree will shake out. Otherwise, we could jam in a cheap Mac Hollins as well. But so far, we know the Bengals struggling to create pressure as a whole, 26th in pressure rate, and Drake May from a clean pocket this year, 9 yards per attempt, 16 touchdowns, the league most passing yards when he's not under duress, over 2,000 as well. So for tournaments, again, it gets a little bit tricky, not to mention that the Bengals, for all their flaws, Rich kind of alluded to this with DJ Turner last week too, they are very good at defending wide receivers. Ask someone who tried to run out Calvin Austin or others against them, and for some odd reason, their quarterbacks, at least, not defending tight ends, absolutely not defending running backs, but against wide receivers, they are above average defense when you look at over expectations allowed, fantasy points on average in general. So Drake May is totally fine. I do still want to get in on Travion Henderson above all here, though. Rich took an hour last week to mention every single week what the Bengals have allowed to opposing backfields. And I think Ramondre Stevenson could murky up this situation a hair. But in my opinion, if Stevenson plays, Henderson's floor is still totally safe to play, not to mention 3 touchdowns in his range of outcomes if he were to hit his ceiling, since we've seen multiple running backs get there every single week, including the Steelers last week against this Bengals front 7. So Henderson's still my favorite above all of them, but very open to playing May. I just wish it was a little bit cleaner. That includes Austin Hooper on the injury report, since I would play Hunter Henry if he's the only tight end out there again. Yeah,
Stevenson, limited practice on Wednesday. Definitely something to monitor there. P. Ryan, what are we doing with P. Ryan? Is he questionable? Is he on track? Is he likely going to be out as far as how he affects Chase Brown? Any sort of injury thoughts? What do we know about P. Ryan this week? I see we're currently projecting him out, I think.
The high ankle sprain, I think, is something that lingers for more than one game. Or if he comes back, I just wouldn't imagine he gets the kind of touch share that cannibalizes Chase Brown. But that's also, I'm sure Rich will talk about this on the Bengals side. That's also what's fun about this game, because like if the Bengals have success, and I kind of question it without Jamar Chase too, but if the Bengals do have success, it's not going to be from Chase Brown. Chase Brown's not even going to be in my pool, in my opinion, just because of what the Steelers or what the Patriots are allowing on the ground, which is basically nothing. No running back has run for 60 yards against them. Achane and Bijan had the two highest scores against them, but that's because they had 8 catches in both of those games as well. And Chase Brown really just hasn't been the kind of efficient running back like those two who can get the job done in this spot. I say that as he dunks on me. So I would rather just play it through the air, especially because they're so cheap, if I play the Bengals side of it.
Rich, how do I play it through the air? No Jamar Chase, Higgins, the clear number one. I'm told that Gonzalez is really good at coverage. How much is Gonzalez going to be on Higgins, and is that something they're going to do? And would that just shut down their pass game? How do you handle the Bengals?
Well, for as good as Chase Gonzalez is, on paper and his per target metrics, he's only allowed a 44% catch rate. The only cornerback with a lower rate with as many targets in his direction is Quinyon Mitchell, but he doesn't really shadow every play.
Yeah.
All the big games against New England have still come from front end wide receivers, not any ancillary guys. So I still think T. Higgins is in play in terms of volume. Now he's not cheap is the problem. And like you said, there could be some volatility because when you remove Chase from this offense, no one else is good except for T. Higgins.
Exactly.
So you can roll cover. It doesn't even have to be Chase Gonzalez. They can or Christian Gonzalez. They can roll coverage to him. It's because Higgins doesn't really move around in the slot either. He's typically an outside receiver. So those guys are usually typically easier to defend and cloud coverage, move stuff around. So that makes it a little tricky at his cost. I feel like he's a tournament only play. I feel like he's definitely volatile, but he has played 5 career games without Chase since they drafted Chase. Obviously, he played a whole season without him before, but he's had some big games: 3 for 50 and 1, 7 for 60 mild, but then 9 for 148, 7 for 114 and 1, 5 for 140 and 1. He's a good enough player to win versus anyone too. So you feel confident in that and just the opportunity if they're going to have to drop back and throw. Like Daigle said, they're not going to line up and run the football on the Patriots. That's not what the Bengals do anyways.
Yeah.
And then particularly not here. Even when I was surprised when I pulled the splits, the Patriots, because they put Milton Williams on IR, but they've faced 82 backfield runs with Williams off the field this season. They've only allowed 3.2 yards per carry on those runs too. Now, running backs have accounted for 22% of the targets against New England, second highest rate in the league, and the league high 26% share of receptions. So that's where you would have Brown is still a viable floor play, I think, on DraftKings at his cost, maybe a cash game type of guy. I think he can still catch a lot of passes and get there kind of just rack them up. But we need Burrow to play probably for that. I definitely have questions if Flacco plays. We talked about last week. We were waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
We knew we were running hot. We were running pure. And when you get one of those teams, we talked about outdoors in Pittsburgh on those fields, you saw with the Lions last week too, having to go play in the wind. It's just some of these offenses, you just don't get there. Right. And it kind of came to a screeching halt on Sunday. Credit the Steelers though. We dunked on them for 2 weeks. About 2 weeks in a row, they didn't change their game plan. The first matchup versus Chase, then the Jordan Love Sunday night game. The last 3 weeks, they've rolled out completely different game plans every week, opponent specific, and they've been awesome all 3 weeks.
By the way, I did pull up the Defensive Player of the Year odds. Myles Garrett, FanDuel Sportsbook -320, Parsons +470, and it's a two-man race. Nick Benito +1,200. I know. Speaking of Silva's trying to make Benito happen. I've heard him trying to make it happen.
He's a beast though.
Yeah, he's the third favorite if you want to call it that. But clearly, it looks like it's Garrett's to lose.
Yeah, I mean, teams have to at least throw on the Broncos. Myles Garrett gets all these sacks. I would love to know his actual pass rush rate per sack. It has to be one of the highest.
And also, Defensive Player of the Year is a name-based award. Rarely do you see someone that isn't like a household name ever win it. So I just don't even dabble in those markets because it's such a long shot.
I don't want to derail the show, but like sacks is a really overrated stat, right? As like a general pressure.
Yeah, sure.
Sacks, there's kind of an overrated thing. We're talking about, you had a great year, you had 15 sacks. You had a terrible year, you had 6 sacks, like 9 plays, but that's not everything. There's so much more. And
it was like the interception. You remember when like Trayvon Diggs had all those interceptions, but like he gave up like the most receiving yardage. Like he had a bunch of interceptions because teams kept throwing at him. Like you usually don't get a lot of interceptions when you're really good because they just don't even throw at you.
Do we think somebody steps up here, Rich? Yoshi? Is Yoshi somebody worth a look?
Well, that's the things we know there's going to be volume. Like this is the Cincinnati Bengals. Like even last week, it was bad volume. But Flacco still threw the ball 40 times. I think we're probably looking at close to 40 plus pass attempts again. So by default, learn your lessons from Michael Wilson last week, right? Like, it's if guys are going to be out there, it might not be flattering, but just, opportunity is out here at a price point. Mitchell Tinsley will probably run a lot of routes too. If anyone wants to go to
that name in projections. Yeah. He's
preseason hero. Preseason hero, legit. Because the problem with Yoshivas, go ahead.
Do we think Jermaine Burton is going to be active?
No.
Okay, so that last round best ball pick is dead. Just double checking here.
Super dead.
Sean Tucker got there. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
The deadest. But the problem with Yoshivas for his career is like the dude doesn't get open and they're facing, a man-centric defense. Patriots play a lot of man coverage. Like I said, there could be a situation where the Patriots are rolling coverage to Higgins and Gonzalez is guarding someone else, right? What if he's on Yoshivas at certain points? Like he's definitely not getting open on him. No. Like at least T. Higgins could win a 50-50 ball. That counting on Yoshivas. I mean, he's run 242 routes. He has like no sample without Jamar Chase because Jamar Chase really hasn't missed any times they had him. But like on his sample without Higgins, like he still never earned any targets last year. Like he was only targeted on 10% of his routes with Higgins off the field, 0.5 yards per out run. And this is what Burrow. He has one career game with 66 yards. He's terrible against man coverage, like I said, because he doesn't really get open. He's like more of a red zone guy. You can get a touchdown from him, but he's going to be out there. He's the best bet for like snaps. And if like that process just got you to Michael Wilson last week, now he's not playing the 49ers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he's going to be out there running routes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like we'll see how desperate we are for value receivers come Sunday. That's sort of my take on it on a Wednesday night.
Right.
Just we'll see. If we need it, it's there. But I don't know if I hope I don't need it though. I don't think I want to need it, but it could be okay. Rich, you've talked about it, and Daigle talked about it as well. How Cincinnati they do have the ability. They have one legit corner that locks down the wide receiver 1. I assume that's Diggs. So who is the next guy for New England? Who's the wide receiver 2 for New England?
Well, Diggs moves around, which is nice.
Okay.
Like, Turner's not really shadowing either. They're not having him just go lock up cornerbacks. He's typically, playing aside. So Diggs will have an opportunity. With Diggs, though, you always have to worry about just like his participation. Because all his peripheral metrics are really good. Like he's been targeted on 25.5% of his routes. That's wide receiver 17. Since he's averaging 2.3 yards per out run, that's wide receiver 10. Like for some context, like his yards per out run are right in between CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that's where he's operating this year. He's been a great signing for them. The only thing that holds him back, he's the wide receiver 49 in route rate. Now, Thursday, he was on the field for 90% of dropbacks, season high, 89%. That was the second time this year he was over 80%. If we knew that was static, you'd be just bullish on him kind of regardless of matchup at his price because like he's operating like a wide receiver 1 metrically. We just need more routes from him. So I wouldn't be that scared of the matchup. I don't know if I'm going to get him in just because he takes some guesswork in terms of opportunity. I think he can just play May by himself, to be honest. Like he's thrown the ball around to guys, and like he runs a little bit. You don't really have to chase, like, because even Hunter Henry, I think you can stack him because Hunter Henry's cheap and the Bengals. But like even Hunter Henry, like he's had 2 good games that like are really usable. So
even against the Jets, he didn't have a good game. But again, I would only play him if Austin Hooper was out because I'm at least going to get the participation. If Hooper plays, it is enough to where I don't think Henry can beat me, so I'm not going to play him.
Yeah, I mean, we are all about, again, trying to figure out how the hell we can get Trey McBride in lineups until we can't. Like, we've got to figure out. We're just going to keep trying to figure out how we could squeeze in Trey McBride. Like, what does it cost us? Do we have to play a bad tight end with him to make him treat him like a wide receiver? Like, if does it take Hunter Henry to get to Trey McBride? I don't know.
Yoshibas?
But we're trying to get to Trey McBride at all costs.
Hooper is in concussion protocol, so yeah, Daigle something to monitor there as well on the New England side. Anything else here, Daigle, or Rich, as far as the Patriots and the Bengals, or shall we move along?
We got our first blip on the radar from the Joe Flacco offense. Like Rich said, they got volume, but extremely inefficient for a Steelers defense that's been rotating their safeties or moving their cornerbacks back to safeties, really. So does that stick around in this game? Like, is another blip for Joe Flacco, who we are depending still at the end of the day on a 40-year-old quarterback to basically like play his most games in a while for this to continue on. So it wouldn't also be shocking for it to stop. So we'll see. I don't know. But there is some systemic failure here.
But Chase was accounting for 36% of Flacco's targets, 35% of his completions, and 34% of his yardage. Like, it's a significant chunk to be absent from the offense, and you can't really replicate that. Yeah, just Mitchell Tinsley.
I mean,
they have their implied team total is 21 points too at home. Like, it's.
Listen, the Patriots are going to beat them by 21. We all know this. So if Stevenson's active, I think it's better for Henderson because we're going to get him at lower ownership.
Interesting. Yeah. And you think that Henderson will still be ahead of Stevenson?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But that's the risk I'm taking on because I think his ceiling is still significantly higher. And again, his floor can still win you in lineups in this game, in this matchup.
I mean, your hope is that he's like rookie season Jahmyr Gibbs, like rookie season Jonathan Taylor, probably too lofty for that kind of hope. Because the one thing about the Patriots too is I think it's not going to matter here, but I think in totality, like the Patriots are a bad running team. I think their offensive line is a bad run blocking offensive line. I mean, the past 2 weeks, Travion Henderson against the Buccaneers averaged negative yards before contact in that game, just popped the 2 long runs. And then on Thursday night, 0.47 yards before contact. That was RB26 on the week. I think they have a systemic problem still, offensive line, like lining up and running the football. I don't think that's going to be a problem here.
The Bengals are the cure. They're the ointment.
Yeah, big picture. They're allowing 186 total yards per game to running backs. It's 34 more yards than the next closest team. They've allowed 7 RB1 scores their past 6 games and 8 top 15 scores over that span.
Yeah. If Henderson if it's his backfield and there's no Stevenson, he's going to be, I would imagine, very, very popular. Definitely something to keep an eye on, but possibly good chalk just because of how inept this Bengals defense is, and also a big time favorite despite it being on the road. Okay. Game 2. Game 2 is the Giants and the Lions. Lions looking to bounce back after that tough game in Philly. They're back in a dome. I believe they're in a dome basically the rest of the season, or at least the next 4 or 5 games or so. 10.5 point favorites at home. 49.5 is the total here. We may get not certain. We may get Jackson Dart back. Unfortunately, Rich, we're not going to get your son, Scadaboo. He's still, I don't know if he's touring with Monday Night Raw now. I'm not really sure exactly what he's doing these days, but
dominating tacos.
I didn't see who he. I did see the clip. I can't remember who he was fighting.
Who turns the taco? Like, who has ever turned the taco? Why would you want everything to fall out of the taco?
I've not seen the taco thing you're talking about. What
right, let's derail the show again.
Do you dominate a taco, or do you let the taco dominate you, Dean? That's the question.
I don't understand.
Because if you are anything like the man Cam Scadaboo is, you turn the taco sideways towards your head because you are showing dominance over the taco.
Oh, okay. And how does the taco dominate you? If you
turn your head for it, if you are submissive to it.
Yeah,
there's 2025. There's nothing wrong with that.
I gotta start following Scadaboo apparently on his socials.
Of course, for everything in life. Yes.
Rich, talking about the Giants and the Lions.
Yeah, this is the game I think a lot of people are going to get to in terms of full on stacking. You know, obviously we got Lions at home. They're 6th in the NFL in points per drive at home. Interesting enough, the Giants over the past 6 weeks, they're 8th in the league in points per drive. They're inconsistent. Like if you watch the Giants game, like they go through spurts, but like they always kind of get there at the end. I'm curious to see what happens with Dart coming back because so much of his fantasy production has come through rushing, and just how much do they try to change? We were talking a little bit before the show. Like, do they try to change the type of player he is? Can they change the type of player he is?
Yeah.
You might not know, but 46% of Dart's fantasy points are from rushing. That's the highest rate of any quarterback. It's higher than Justin Fields, right? Now he's a better passer than Justin Fields, but that's just the type of production he's getting in terms of using his legs. Detroit is 24th in rushing points allowed to running backs, but he can push this game. Like it doesn't make it, because typically you would look at these Lions games and say, well, I only want the Lions, and I do want to stack the Lions like everyone else. But I do think Dart being in the game makes it interesting. Like, I think it allows you the chance to play Dart by himself if you want, and you can play him with Detroit running backs because the Giants are the worst run defense in the NFL. It's funny when we talk about the Bengals and like teams like the Buffalo Bills, but metrically the Giants are the worst run defense in the NFL. They're the worst in EPA against the rush. They're allowing the most yards per carry to running backs. They're 29th in success rate. They're also terrible against outside zone runs, which is all the Lions run. So like something like Dart plus Gibbs, I don't know if you get to Montgomery, but I think Dart makes this an intriguing matchup to where it's not just where you have to just jam in all Lions, even though we totally will.
30.5 team total. The Lions look really, really tasty. I know producer TJ, he's always talking about his triples. I can see TJ playing some triples with the Lions.
You're gonna need more than that. You're gonna need what's quads, nukes. We need 5 Lions. We need all the Lions here. I do like that approach, though. That's the angle I was coming at it from this game, is that no matter how many Lions I play, even if so I'm trying to project. If Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams both get there, which is very likely, Amon-Ra leads the league in target share against man coverage, and even in their shuffling coaching staff, Giants, even last week under Mike Kafka, 59% of their snaps, a league high rate from man coverage. We've seen Jameson Williams now, at least 20% of the team's targets in 4 of his last 5 games, used on more crossing routes under Dan Campbell. And so I'm just trying to think in my head, even if those two get there, if I play those two, what are the odds that Jared Goff still outscores Jackson Dart? And I'm sure it's probable, but I think I'm still willing to take that difference in margin and say Dart can still outscore him using his legs in a world where both receivers for the Lions get there. And so, yeah, I like coming at it from the Dart side, but still playing all of the Lions. There was even some coach speak earlier where Dan Campbell said he wants to get David Montgomery more involved. But Montgomery, Gibbs just led them in receiving yards against the Eagles. Like Gibbs under Campbell now has 140 yards from scrimmage and back-to-back games with him calling plays. So they're all good plays. Tack on Brock Wright. Brock Wright was the only tight end to run a route for the Lions at all without Sam Laporta against the Eagles. It's just against the Eagles. So, of course, he didn't do anything. They're allowing the 3rd fewest yards per game to tight ends. This isn't that spot against the Giants. So find a Lion, pick them out, play them. But I still like Jackson Dart as well.
I was going to ask if is he the best cheap tight end on this slate? If we can't find the money for McBride. Who's the best cheap tight end? Around 3K or so on TK. Andrews is 3.8.
Andrews is a good one too.
Yeah. Wright 3K. Fannon's 3.6. I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Where's the 3 area?
Yeah, because the rest of the guys are like guys who need the opportunity and not the starter ahead of them. So like Cole Kmet, Michael Mayer. I was digging through all of them. Isaiah Likely even is very thin. But
Barner 3.3. Yeah.
Gosh, how much volume you're going to get from Cam Ward pushing that team?
Yeah,
you got to count for the tush push.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, forget about it. You get tush push.
How would you prioritize Detroit, Rich? I know you're going to love Detroit. Why would you not? You always talk about Amon-Ra. Gibbs, certainly an incredible spot as well. We've seen JMO since the transition to Campbell calling plays. You're talking about how he's getting more run, more burn, like with more targets as well. He was shut out a couple weeks there. Yeah. If you could start your lineup with one, Rich, like start with Gibbs or Amon-Ra, who's the better starting point?
In context of the slate, I prefer Gibbs. We've got no CMC. We've got no Achane. There is Jonathan Taylor, but it's in an interesting spot. And now Jonathan Taylor's price has been just so absorbent for weeks at this point. Like we're trying to get to all these other guys. So he's been just so priced up. And also, Daniel Jones on the road against Steve Spagnuolo. I swear I thought that was a lock for one of these games. But yeah, I think Gibbs in context of the slate is probably the way I want to play it because, listen, I tried last week to do the maybe this is the week where we can play all the fun receivers. And that's just not the NFL right now. Like it is. That's just not what's winning tournaments anymore. Like it's, you can't do the Jamar Chase plus Justin Jefferson plus Jackson plus the Jigga thing. Like it's a running game right now. We're not getting any passing production. I mean, even last week at the NFL at its collective lowest passer rate in a week this season, second lowest completion rate. Like I want to pay for running backs in DFS.
Daigle, your favorite run back in the Giants? I know you talked about, or I think Rich talked about Dart. Maybe that's an a la carte piece. The backfield seems like a true split with Tracy and Singletary. I don't know how to handle that. Probably an ignore for me. Wandale is the wide receiver 1. Do we like Wandale as the wide receiver 1?
I have such a hard time talking about Wandale because I don't ever feel like he's going to beat me. I don't think he has.
Kobe Myers and the Optimals. He's completely.
Yeah, I don't think he's been in a winning lineup once so far. And his one shot was against the Niners, who were getting pelted by slot wide receivers. And even then, although he did good, he's priced even on DraftKings like a mid 5K receiver. And so it's just like, bro, I'll find, the Michael Wilson, the Greg Dortch, who's going to get me 18 to 25 at 2K less. So I just don't ever find myself playing Wandale Robinson. Last week, we got, Kafka and a past Giants favorite, Isaiah Hodgins, coming up and mirroring Jalen Hyatt's and routes. Hodgins has also kind of been the end zone guy in the past years when he's played for the Giants. That was, of course, without Darius Slayton, who could also potentially be available for this game. So honestly, I think I just run it out as naked Jackson Dart and bring the Lions back as opposed to trying to find the right wide receiver with him. Although, again, I am always open, of course, to Darius Slayton if he plays in this game.
Wandale has 2 touchdowns this season. Those are his 2 best games. 20 points against Philly week 6. And he had a 31 burger.
Yeah, the Cowboys game.
Dallas, week 2.
Oh, that was Russell Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys game.
8 catches.
Gosh, that feels like 3 years ago. I can't believe that game happened.
I forgot it happened, to be honest. And I'm like, oh, yeah, 37-40. They lost to Dallas. That was a heck of a shootout. What is Slayton if he does give it a go? 4-5? 4-5 Slayton? I don't talk you to Slayton. You mentioned them already. You have your eye, just in case. That's your guy.
Just in case.
That's it for Giants Lions. Anything else that we need to talk about? Well, I mean, we got JMO too. JMO's on the board, especially with LaPorta being out, his route tree's completely flipped the past month. It isn't just since Dan Campbell took over there. I know how did Dan Campbell wheeze his way and get credit for all this too? Like they beat the Commanders and they get smoked in Jared Goff's worst career game. And somehow it's like Dan Campbell unlocked Jameson Williams. Like it had already started before, but you see his depth of target, the past 5 games has gone from down to 9.7 air yards. He only has a 10% deep target rate. Before that, he had a 43% of his targets were 20 or more yards downfield, like 21 air yards per target. You just can't be successful in today's NFL if that's all you live off of. Over his past 5 games, 28% of his targets have been on crossing routes. 21% have been on in routes. Over the opening 4 weeks, it was only 14% on crossers, 12% on those in-breaking routes. And that's where you want them. That's what Ben Johnson unlocked them last year. The horizontal routes were because the football field's still 50 yards wide. Guys that can't guard him that way too. And that's where you can get him, where you can get the ball and turn up field. It's easier to complete that Jared Goff, that 12-yard pass, that 15-yard dig than it is that 35-yard pass downfield. So yeah, Jameson Williams is in a really good spot too as well. So his price has gone up a little bit from where we were. We were playing a couple weeks ago, I think at 4-9 against the Commanders. I think he's 5-7 now, but he's completely in play with LaPorta off the field. So you can do a lot of things with Goff doubles. You can play the running backs. You can go with onslaughts, do something with Dart. You can ignore the Giants altogether. This one is a lot of ways to play it. It looks like an over game, whether it's through the Lions by themselves or, kind of Dart just finding a way to get to his fantasy points somehow, like he has consistently when anytime he's played.
And for Dart, and since the entire thesis of the slate is the cheap receivers and just making sure we project them correctly, like if you are tacking on or playing a quarterback like Dart, like you mentioned, Dean, about which wide receiver to play. If Slayton stays out, Like, at least Isaiah Hodgins is stone man. He's just dirt cheap. Still had a 21% target share last week. So I'd be fine correlating that with my wide receiver than bringing the Lions back. Because I probably will I'm going to have to tinker with it, but I probably will just correlate those cheap wide receivers to my game stacks or quarterback.
Rich, you mentioned in the field being 50 yards. I was curious because I know I've seen the CFL field is much wider. Imagine JMO and then the CFL with
dude.
Because 65 wide.
CFL's where you get the running start too, right? Like, oh my god,
he would be the MVP. Yeah, but shout out to TJ's Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They did win the Grey Cup.
Yeah, so. CFL rolls JMO. That's the key.
Who needs the World Series when you can win the Grey Cup, right? All right. Game number 3. We're done. We're done with the Giants in Detroit. I think so. Yes.
I think we covered most of it.
Lots of options.
Philadelphia, Dallas getting 3.5 at home. 48.5 is the total. And I actually saw TJ in the chat talking about this. This kind of jumped out to me too. It seemed like both AJ Brown and Smith seemed pretty cheap on DK. That's like the first thing I saw. I'm like, oh, did DK lower their prices on players? Well, Daigle, AJ Brown 5'9", Smith 5'6". I know he's not coming off a big game. These prices are already set. But against Dallas, don't both those guys seem a little bit too cheap?
They do, and that's why I'm pretty sure, at least on DraftKings, I'm not sure on FanDuel, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the cash game quarterback. Regardless of what the Eagles do in this spot, he's just so cheap, mid 6Ks for the kind of ceiling he provides and having a rushing floor as well. The issue here, when we talk about systemic failures and trying to get on the right game, is that there is this chance that the Eagles offense falls apart and they just win a sloppy one, because even when the Eagles fall apart, they're just too talented to actually lose games. But overall, without Lane Johnson on the field for 75 plays last year, the Eagles averaged 0.7 yards before contact, just 6.8 yards per attempt. Their starting center, Cam Jurgens, is also currently in concussion protocol. Not to mention that the game against the Lions this past week was a signal for AJ Brown, since obviously the Lions play a lot of man coverage. We talked about that earlier. AJ Brown, that's what he's been targeted, the 4th highest target rate against man coverage. But the Cowboys now, even with their new additions, this past game against the Raiders still played 90% of their snaps from zone coverage, which is more of a signal for Devonta Smith, who's second in the league in yards per route run against zone coverage. Not to mention, if trying to teeter with Saquon Barkley here, not just that he's been struggling for his own reasons, for the offensive line reasons, but Quinnen Williams was PFF's #1 run defending interior player with the Jets. He comes over Monday night, is active for the first time at the trade deadline for the Cowboys. And it's probably a lot of the Raiders offensive line that we can attribute it to. But Ashton Genty still totaled only 2 yards before contact. Not average, totaled 2 yards before he got hit. And so perhaps we're looking at just a Cowboys defense that also, it's a 1-game sample, but maybe they're better in the front 7, and we can look at the Eagles running game really just collapsing further here. So I like Devonta Smith for sure, but given the tournament ownership that's going to be involved here, I think I'm a little bit wary, understanding that this game could, at least from the Eagles side, fail to get there.
Yeah, Rich, your thoughts as far as the Eagles as well, and how much does Lane Johnson matter? John was laying it out, and is this like a Chargers situation where, the offensive line is just going to completely, if not imploding, but clearly Lane Johnson, look, I'm not somebody who pretends to study the all 22, and I don't know I know the guys that matter, and he's one of those guys that matter for sure. How much does he matter? Does he make you not want to play Barkley?
The Eagles have run 153 plays without Lane Johnson on the field this season. They average 4.2 yards per play on those snaps. That would be ahead of just the Cleveland Browns if it was a full season stat. They're averaging 5.4 yards per play with them on the field. That'd be 14th. Pretty significant difference. Definitely matters for Barkley as well. And you look at Barkley's, he's run the ball 51 times without Lane Johnson on the field, 2.7 yards per carry. He has an explosive run of 10 or more yards on 3.9% of those attempts. And not that he was going all world with Lane Johnson, that was a thing, but he was averaging 4.2 yards per carry, 11.3% rate of runs of 10 or more yards. So it does matter. This game, I'm definitely going to stack it and play it in a single entry because it could pop. It's a game at Dallas. It's just it's got stars. You can build it too. It's not that extremely hard to stack because the way the Eagles receivers are. It does get more expensive through the Dak side because I do think CeeDee Lamb is probably the way to play through the Dallas side. But this game has got a lot of moving parts. It's definitely volatile. Cowboys basically have, they basically had 6 new defensive players on Monday night. I mean, they traded for Quinn Williams and Logan Wilson. They got Malik Hooker back. They got Donovan Wilson back. They got DeMarvion Overshawn back. And when these teams played the first matchup, the Eagles were terrible in that game. Like they won the game, like Daigle said, but it was another one of those like ugly games. Matt Eberflus played zone coverage on every single passing snap in that game. That's kind of been the bugaboo for Jalen Hurts this entire season. He's had issues with zone-based defenses all of 2025, and it's because this offense just has like so little creativity. It's all static dropbacks. There's no great route concepts. Against zone coverage, Hurts a 17th in completion rate, 22nd in yards per pass attempt, 18th in touchdown rate. The Eagles have 3 receivers in the top 10 this season in rate of routes that are hitches. Jahan Dotson's 1, Devontae Smith's 2, AJ Brown's 10. And they also have 3 wide receivers that are in the top 20 in rate of routes that are go routes. Like the offense just has nothing cool in it. It's run and turn around, go straight, I'll throw it to you. That's like what they do. AJ Brown is like a high route of slants too. Like just real simple stuff is all they're doing. That's why they struggle even when they get the coverages that we want. Or AJ Brown, like he doesn't do it. Like they're not doing anything. They're just like want him to win. That's it. But they're not doing anything like create him open. Ben Johnson had a great quote this week. Someone asked him about throwing like 50-50 balls and getting like Rome Odunze chances. And he was like, that's not what we do. He's like, I scheme guys open. He's like, we want to throw to open players. That's like the opposite of what Kevin Patullo's doing. He's just like, I don't know, man, it's man coverage. Like throw it to him here. Like, let's see what happens. But yeah, I feel like we're in like this never ending cycle where we have a week where AJ Brown doesn't get targets. He complains like some meta complaint through like social media or through the media in general. The Eagles come back. They try to jam a bunch of targets. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it doesn't. And then we go like and repeat the loop again. That's like the track we've been on this season. When these teams played the first time too, Jalen Hurts had his lowest target rate to wide receivers in his career. I do think that will go up here because like you still look at the Dallas corners. That's like still where you want to attack them even through their additions. But all the zone coverage stuff, it's like this game is still pretty volatile. There's a chance where it's like kind of a slog still, but like I said, there's also a chance it could be fun because it's in Dallas and there's a lot of stars.
It's also, I would say a different game the first time because remember Jalen Carter spits before we even kick off. He gets kicked out, then the Cowboys really lean on Javonte Williams in that game. Instead, he has success. Dallas just takes what Dak gives them, but Dak was still a surgical in that game. Whereas now with Jalen Carter, Jalen Phillips, we got all these guys added to the mix. It does seem like one where if the Cowboys win, it's going to have to be through Dak Prescott and his receivers. Not to mention, remember, before Lamb got hurt, Pickens and Dak really had no rapport whatsoever. They were off all the time. And Pickens was like basically a flex option. But now since Lamb came back, not only when he was out did Pickens lead the league in receiving yards, and they got to develop that chemistry. Since Lamb has returned the last 4 games together, Pickens has out-targeted Jake Ferguson 33-20. Ferguson continues getting there for touchdowns, and if you want to play it through that angle, sure, but I just mentioned earlier, not that they're the same class, but Brock Wright struggled as the team's honestly only tight end because the Eagles just don't give it up at all to tight end. So I do think it's pretty cleanly Dak, Lamb, and Pickens, but again, that's expensive.
Yeah, and I think Pickens this is the matchup where like Pickens probably struggles. He's probably good. Like these are the types of receivers like the Eagles really give a hard time to, because Lamb moves around, he's creative, he gets open too, he uncovers better than Pickens. So like I would think like this is a matchup to where Lamb would just be better suited to kind of combat the strengths of this Eagles defense, which is good anyways. Like you just have to hope you're the guy that gets on a Dory Jackson sometimes. It's like really the way to beat the Eagles. Like he's got to, because you move into the slot, you get Cooper Jean. You outside, you're going to get followed by Quinyon Mitchell, but because Lamb moves around, it's the same thing that like the Lions had, which was cool. It's like they had a way to combat it, but just they were awful on offense. And Goff had some throws he left on the field. He hit the one where Dory got beat by Jameson Williams. But because when you have one of these guys that plays 50-50 inside outside, and Lamb's a little bit down this year in terms of slot because Kevontae Turpin plays and he just doesn't play outside at all, but he's still like 30% slot rate. But when he goes inside, Quinyon Mitchell doesn't go. And then Quinyon Mitchell, because Lamb goes inside, is immediately on Pickens. So like you kind of have like that trade-off there. So I do prefer Lamb of the guys this week between them. But I'm not particularly excited to play Dak though for a ceiling week against the Eagles either. Like, what's the spike week look like against this Philadelphia Eagles defense? Like, this is an incredible defense. They're the best defense in the NFL last season after they made their transition. They're picking up that stride again. Dak has played only 3 games against defenses in the top 10 in passing points allowed this season. And outside the Packers game, he's been terrible in all of them. So like he's been unusable he's a single digit fantasy points in some like 6.6 points against the Broncos, 7.8 points against the Eagles. He played a great real football game in that game against the Eagles on paper. Where are my fantasy points, dude? Well, even if he hits some of those throws, what do you get? 17 points, 16? Like that ain't gonna win you. That's not hitting you for nothing. It's not bricking anything.
Phillips also making that Philadelphia defense better as well. They recently acquired from Miami. To your point, by the way, Rich, as far as this game being a potential slog, Cardi, I'm looking at Cardi's the blitz, talking about pace, and he actually has this game having the second fewest projected game plays, just ahead of Cleveland and Vegas. Both teams don't want to be there. They just want that clock to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, so, I mean, the sell is you're indoors in Dallas, right? Like you got, I mean, that's the sell. That's the hook, and you hope it can get there that way. But there's under the sheets, not that pretty.
It's funny. Last week I said I listened to Daigle and Rich. You guys pitched Sam Fran in Tampa, and I listened to the whole pitch, and I was like, you know what? I'm not buying that game. I didn't.
Buffalo, Tampa. Yeah,
it was Buffalo and Tampa. And it was only 2 guys that got there. But if you had Tucker and Allen, like you were so far ahead of everybody. But the way you guys are selling this, I felt better about Dallas, Philly before this conversation, but it all kind of makes sense as well.
I think you can still hit some oneers though. Like even if you don't stack, like I'll probably still stack it. Like I think Devontae Smith, like Daigle, I think he's solid at his price point too. So I think you can hit a couple oneers probably.
You're more likely to stack through Hurts, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, Dak just doesn't give you the rushing, and his resume outside the Packers game, like he's been pretty predictable.
Receivers are more expensive.
Yeah, his receivers are more expensive too.
Tougher matchup. But ownership. If you want ownership is the great Daigle.
No pushing of the tushing.
Yeah. Daigle, would you do the same if you're forced to stack this game? Would you start with Hurts or Dak?
I need to toy around with it. But again, I still fear the ownership. And that doesn't mean I won't get there because you know exactly where to go to. Like, it's A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert as well. I think the game's going to be overplayed where I feel like I could get better offensive environments elsewhere.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
That doesn't answer your question. I know, but
no, but
I can tell you, I don't think I'm going to have Dak in my player pool. Hurts, I will. Hurts, I will.
Yeah, and you can just play Lamb by himself and just
correct
Dak.
Mm-hmm.
That's
this quarterback slate is tremendous. Like I just don't think Dak against the Eagles is the key to this slate. I feel like we got Lamar Jackson. We talked about Goff. We talked about Drake May against the Bengals. We even toyed around with Dart. We got. Mahomes, Mahomes going back home, like never lost 3 games in a row in his career.
Angry Mahomes.
Yeah, like it is a big angry Mahomes in the highest total of the week, like too. Like I just don't think Dak is the answer to this slate. Like I feel if I lose to Dak, so be it. I feel like that's how I feel about it.
He's got to get 4 touchdowns, basically.
Yes.
Which he can, I guess.
He could. I mean, he had you need the Packers game to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else here, Daigle?
I think we talked through everything. That's about it.
All right. That is the 3 main games that we're going to talk about. I do want to mention the 3-day pass we have offering here on RotoGrinders. You want to try an NFL DFS, our tools without a full season-long commitment. For a limited time, get half off a 3-day NFL pass and access everything you need to crush the slate. You'll also get the optimizer tool, Lineup HQ, which is packed with player projections, ownership percentages, much, much more, as well as SimLabs NFL. Easiest way to build smart, competitive lineups, just a few clicks, all that and more for $9.99. Choose wisely as far as your 3 days. If you're listening right now on a Wednesday night, probably don't get it tonight. Make sure you have it for Sunday. If you want to commit longer, the NFL DFS access for the entire season. You can get more bang for your buck with Combo Pro. Limited time, you get your first month of Combo Pro, $79.99, which is only $5 more than NFL a la carte. If you want NFL a la carte, by all means, have at it. But you would also get PGA, NBA, which is in full swing, NFL, MLB. I know there's no baseball, hockey, MMA. Have I said MMA? All the sports, everything, with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is doing its own thing. It's a la carte. Let's run it back. Let's talk about our favorite players, position by position. I want to change it up. I almost always go to Daigle first, but Rich said there's a lot of quarterbacks I like. So I'm guessing he wants to talk about some quarterbacks we've not yet discussed. Give me some quarterbacks.
Lamar Jackson. Definitely want to play him. The last 2 weeks he's run into kind of those teams we talked about, teams like that give him problems, teams that play cover zero, man blitzes. Those are the teams that give him the most troubles. The Jets do those things, but they're not particularly good at them. They're 8th in blitz rate. They play man coverage on 62% of their blitzes. That's 7th. The last team that faced that was like did this stuff and wasn't as effective was the Miami Dolphins. In that game, he threw 3 touchdowns against their man coverage, 2 touchdowns against blitz. Jets are 29th in passing points allowed per attempt. Even with his 2 down weeks factored in, Lamar Jackson still leads the NFL in passing points per attempt. And then over the 3 weeks without Sauce Gardner, the Jets have allowed top 10 scoring weeks to Joe Flacco, 24.3 points, Dylan Gabriel, and Drake May.
They're also there. Stopping at Gabriel.
They're also 25th in rushing points allowed per quarterbacks. This feels like a good get-right spot for the Ravens after a couple tougher matchups. I won't take them all. I think that the Cardinals situation is going to be fun to have like a conversation out, but I am going to mix Mahomes in this week too. Not necessarily for like anything objective, because I think this is an intriguing matchup too. You can't really look at the season-long stuff because the Colts had 1 game with Sauce Gardner. They're also getting Charvarius Ward back. I'm very intrigued to see how they approach defending the Kansas City Chiefs, but Mahomes back in Kansas City. They've lost 2 games on the road against 2 teams that are in the top 5 in pressure rate, which has given Mahomes trouble all year. The Colts, even though I think that their coverage and what Big Lou could probably do with these cornerbacks is very intriguing for this matchup. The Colts are not a team getting very much pass rush at all, and they will not have DeForest Buckner. They're 22nd in pressure rate. They actually go to 25th in pressure rate without DeForest Buckner on the field. So I think Mahomes is going to be a little more comfortable. I am curious about some of the man coverage stuff that maybe Big Lou can deploy. But at home this season, Mahomes is averaging 26 fantasy points per game. It's like I said, angry Mahomes spot. I think I want to play him. I at least want to mix him in somewhere. And then let's talk about the Cardinals for a minute, because I think we won't just make this open, because Daigle hitting at this like something like I wrote up similar. Like this is very not dissimilar to what happened when Joe Flacco joined the Cincinnati Bengals. The Arizona defense has deteriorated in recent weeks through injuries. They've had 2 cornerbacks that have been, or 2 linebackers that have been out. Will Johnson has been like the big absence the past 2 weeks. And we're getting in like really crazy game states with Jacoby Brissett. He's dropped back 47, 46, 37, 53, and 57 times. 4 of those games are losses. He's playing the Jaguars for a complete pass funnel. But there is some pretty significant fragility here in this particular matchup for a couple of reasons. Well, one, there's a difference between playing shootouts and then like stacking points through garbage time. The latter is a lot more fragile than gamers think it is.
Yeah.
Brissett has been absolutely trash these past 2 first halves. Like he had 4.9 fantasy points at halftime last week. In week 10, he had 3.5 fantasy points in the first half. Like it's very hard to consistently be in those holes. Look at Justin Herbert last week against the Jaguars. Like, it doesn't mean because you're down 21 points, you just start scoring fantasy points. Very often you don't. And if Arizona just keeps putting themselves in these spots where they're just like getting flooded, eventually we're not going to get out of one of these holes.
You mentioned Lamar Jackson. I guess you have no apprehension as far as him being not fully 100% running wise. And I know he's not practicing on Wednesdays. I think that's whatever. It's fine. We don't care about Wednesday in practice, but his rushing was down last week. I think he had 4 attempts for maybe 10 yards or so. I'm not sure if that was a nature just kind of how the game went, or if he's a little apprehensive. I guess you don't care.
I mean, this is a game where I think he could throw 3 or 4 passing touchdowns, but there will also be a Baltimore Raven running back we'll talk about as well if you would like to go in a different direction.
Play one of the two. Play Lamar or Henry, right?
I mean, it's a situation too. Like you probably can't play them both, but you could try to get all the touchdowns and then not worry about stacking Lamar with whoever he's going to throw these touchdowns to.
That's why Lamar was in my pool as well. Just trying to, I think it's more leverage off Derrick Henry. I imagine the field probably wants to get to Derrick Henry instead, given the game script. But just like the Dolphins game, 4 touchdowns here is absolutely in the Ravens' range of outcomes. They have a 29-point team total behind the Lions 30.5. So I feel like I'm going to get to the Ravens somehow. I just don't know exactly which direction, running back or quarterback, I'm going yet.
Yeah, but that's what makes the Brissett conversation so fun is because like there is some fragility, but there also is just like an outcome where there is like a pushback game too with the Jaguars, like we had with the Raiders a couple weeks ago. Like the Jaguars played like they went on the road to Las Vegas and they had just a competitive game with the Raiders, and Geno Smith had 26 points. I just don't want to consistently see the Cardinals down when I'm playing versus Joey Brissett, them down like they were losing 38-7 at halftime against Seattle. They were down 25-10 last week. Like those aren't necessarily the game states we typically want to consistently be involved in and have to dig out of. But the Jaguars have been a consistently worse road defense all season.
But I think the difference is this week is that Jacoby Brissett, he's not catching as much ownership, right? Or is the field still, at least on a Wednesday, expected to value him highly?
I got him in 3% of my DK lineups that I made. So
yeah, that'll be fine.
As far as optimals.
Yeah, because his salary didn't come up as much as it should have for the kind of ceiling he offers. And that was my approach to it because Jacoby Brissett's also in my pool. I just really don't think, even after last week where Brissett doubles and triples were the way you won tournaments, even around Josh Allen's 47 points, I don't really see the field getting to Jacoby Brissett at these prices.
Is Trevor Lawrence going to push? I know that Cardinals defense is rough. Can we trust Trevor Lawrence to push that Arizona offense? I'm a Trevor Lawrence hater, so that's why I'm asking.
No, I mean, we're not going to play Trevor Lawrence regardless, but they should be able to run the ball, against Arizona because again, with those linebackers out, they're allowing over the past 5 games, 5.1 yards per carry to running backs, 115 rushing yards per game. They have a lot of top 10 fantasy score in 3 of the past 5 games as well. So you got ETN. Tootin and ETN are interesting because before Tootin got hurt, it was like a clear 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tootin out-touched ETN 6-3 in the first quarter, 8-6 in the first half, and 14-12 through 3 quarters. Like they were just playing both guys and just running all over the Chargers. Like they were completely cool with not throwing with Trevor Lawrence. And that's kind of been their approach out of the bye. And that's the other angle that we do have to deal with if we do go back to the Cardinal stacks is out of the bye, Jacksonville has a 46.8% drop back rate. That's 30th in the NFL. They lead the NFL in time of possession. Opponents have only run 60, 55, and 45 offensive plays against them because they're just been running the ball. Arizona's running 70 plays per game under Jacoby Brissett at second in the NFL. That's how you get to all those things. The other thing too is we'll probably have more pressure to deal with this week than last week's the 49ers. Dude, 57 dropbacks last week, not 1 sack. 49ers are just like a complete level. They cannot get to the quarterback at all.
The courtesy blitz, right? It's a courtesy blitz. They won't actually get there, but yeah.
It gets a makeshift offensive line. Arizona's out with Jonah Williams didn't play. Kelvin Beachum, his backup, left the game. And they were rotating in a new guard with Will Hernandez. And the 49ers still couldn't even breathe on Jacoby Brissett.
I was going to bet Carolina San Fran over based on this thought process. 48.5. I feel like we've never seen Carolina in a 48.5 total. But, it does kind of – it's Monday night. I don't know why I'm jumping off the slate.
Looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, that could be a fun one for sure. Daigle, who else was left for you as far as quarterbacks? What you got the scraps, basically.
Nope. That's about it. I totally get the Patrick Mahomes argument, but I definitely have Lamar and Jacoby in my pool around Jackson Dart. I'm going to have 4 or 5 quarterbacks in my pool this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any.
Yeah, we talked about Jones. We talked about Jones, Dart, May.
Yeah, and there's a lot just like, Cam Ward. There's a lot like that. We're just not playing Mason Rudolph May quarterback this week. I assume we're not playing Mason Rudolph, but he looked okay. Do we have a ruling on that? I think Rodgers wants to play, but we don't really know, right? Do we care?
I just assume it's Rodgers. He gets what he wants.
Yeah. We're not playing Rodgers, I imagine.
No.
With, a wrist. Okay. Daigle, running backs. What do you got?
Let's start at the top with Bijan Robinson. I would imagine the Falcons' approach changes entirely with Kirk Cousins. And I know we've already seen this once against the Dolphins in his start, and Bijan merely out-touched Tyler Algier 12-6. But I would think after that Kirk Cousins last week, after the Kirk Cousins start in Miami, that we do get some more running back carries here. It's also indoors against Tyler Shuck and the Saints. The Falcons were just pushed by Bryce Young casually for the best game of his career last week. So I still like paying up for Bijan Robinson, especially on a slate where Jonathan Taylor's super expensive and Christian McCaffrey's off the board playing on Monday night. Rich already mentioned the Travis Etienne Tootin combo, but I bet we do get leverage on Travis Etienne's salary over Tootin. Not that I care if someone wants to go cheap and play Tootin as well. But Etienne also, multiple touchdowns is in his range of outcomes, especially if Tootin is limited following that ankle injury. So Etienne's also going to be my pool for leverage here. And then just a spot trying to get ahead of, it's nasty too, but Kenneth Walker. Out carried Zach Charbonnet, 16-11. We know Seattle, if they aren't getting pushed, we're just not going to get that passing volume. So we think it's going to be a run heavier game script. And the Titans have had easier matchups the past couple of games. Woody marks between the tackles. It was less than 3 yards per carry. And then before that against Kamani Vidal, holding him to 30 rushing yards. But before that, it was double-digit fantasy points allowed to opposing RB1s in every game since week 4. So I still like the spot for Kenneth Walker here.
5-4 on DK, almost two touchdown favorites on the road.
You're not going to get targets. The Seahawks running backs do not get targets at all, but he could have 100 yards and multiple touchdowns in this game script.
Rich, what do you got left for you?
No, we pretty much covered everyone that I am kind of looking at right now. We did mention before the show that if Trey Benson plays, it's not a great matchup, but he's only 5K on FanDuel. So you can always just swallow that and just say, whatever, 5K running back. And play him, but
Bam Knight for the same reason on DK. If we don't get Benson and DeMarcado is out with his high ankle sprain, Bam Knight's also super ugly, but you could play.
But I'm going to play the Lions guys.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No. I'm not going to play Emmanuel Wilson.
Okay. 5-3 on DK. It's not a huge discount, but
yeah.
And Jacobs, I think they play Thanksgiving, so it probably makes sense to sort of rest him on Sunday. Save him for Thanksgiving? I don't know. We'll see. He didn't practice today. They said he's legitimately day-to-day. But go ahead, Rich. What do you got?
No, I say we talked about the Jaguars guys, we talked about the Lions guys, Chase Brown on DraftKings only. We did not, I guess, talk about the big dog. If you don't want to play Lamar Jackson, or you think like Lamar has to get there just because the passing volume is not going to be there and he has to be efficient through the touchdowns. Derrick Henry has 20 touches in each of his past 5 games. He doesn't quite have the breakaway juice. He got ran down last week. You never see that really anymore, but it happens to all of us. But he's still been the only 100-yard rusher allowed by the Rams this season, the only 100-yard rusher allowed by the Browns. Counts or something. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry with Lamar Jackson on the field. As a favorite of 7 or more points, Henry averages 120 rushing yards per game. With Baltimore, he's played 10 games as a touchdown or more favorite. 17.6 PPR points per game, 6 of those at home. And in those games, he averages 20.2 PPR points per game as well. So it is probably a good big dog week.
Daigle, you teased you might have a play from Cleveland Raiders. It's not one of these running backs. I'm guessing it's not one of the running backs. It's going to be a receiver, or
it is because the worst thing you could do, as we talked about last week, was chase Jerry Jeudy when he's rostered. When people want to play Jerry Jeudy, there's no chance you play Jerry Jeudy, as he showed last week. But still led the team in targets. Whenever Shadur came off the bench, he was targeted on 26.5% of Shadur's pass attempts as well. And after he failed everyone, no one wants to play Jerry Jeudy this week. So I'm just saying, like, Jerry Jeudy's out here at a reasonable 4K price on DraftKings at least. So I don't hate that. I can chase Michael Wilson if Marvin Harrison Jr. remains out. He is out for sure. Okay. Well, Michael Wilson still, he's high 4Ks. It's come up a lot since last week next to Stone minimum price. but the Jaguars are still allowing the most points to receivers from out wide. That's where Michael Wilson led the team in routes run. So I still like Michael Wilson here, and I think he can get there regardless of game script just by being the team's wide receiver one. Xavier Weaver, your boy Dean, actually started and played over Greg Dortch. It's just that when you find yourself in a 29-10 hole, you have to run 3 wide receiver sets. And Greg Dortch, again, being an efficient receiver anytime he comes on the field, came on the field and scored that garbage time touchdown and got there. But I don't know if we're going to get the kind of game script where Greg Dortch is viable here. Malcolm Wilson will at least be on the field. Christian Watson as well. You didn't see it on Sunday with Rome Odunze and the Bears, but the Vikings allowed at least 12 fantasy points to wide receiver ones they faced before that in every game since week 4, and at least 18 to Amon Ra, Ladd McConkey, AJ Brown in past games since they returned from their bye in week 7. So I still like Christian Watson here. And then the super cheap option, if anything, he's become a versatile wide receiver who plays both out wide and the slot. But the Steelers have still allowed the 6th most fantasy points to slot receivers. And Luther Burden has become a 50-50 player at mid 3Ks, where he can still spike big catches on limited efficiency or unlimited opportunity. So I think if you're spending down, I still like Luther Burden here.
You know, could have really been my boy last week was Elijah Higgins. You're talking about the Arizona nonsense players. I did have him in a lineup.
I fumbled on that one, on the one.
And so I was conflicted because my biggest sports bet for the week was over 1.5 catches for Higgins. So that got him over. So I was excited about that.
And then he took
But I had him with in my Brissett, one of my best lineups.
The life of gambling.
I think I had him with McBride, I believe. The double when you can stack the Cardinals tight ends. How do you not do that? I know we're not on tight ends, but that's sort of what I thought of there for a second. I did not end up playing any Xavier Weaver.
No, he was out there exercising.
Who's left for you? But the Minnesota Green Bay game, I feel like that's going to be kind of a snooze fest. It feels like one of those games where Love's probably not going to get pushed, and I know the internet's already buried JJ McCarthy. You won't call him JJ, Rich. You'll call him Jackson.
Jonathan James. Yeah, he's got he goes by his government until you don't get called by your nickname until you earn it.
Well, he hasn't earned it yet. I can tell you that.
It just feels like that could be an ugly game. I don't know what the weather is. I didn't look at that, but possibly this time of year in Green Bay. But and Love, have we seen a Love ceiling game in a while? Am I missing something? I haven't checked the game log. I know he was hurt last week, but it just feels like and the loss of the tight end obviously is certainly a big detriment to that offense as well. But okay, who was left, Rich? Who do we still have available as far as
all the good players? I left you all the good players.
No, we talked about Amon Ra and those guys throughout the show. I mean, I think it's fine to keep playing Michael Wilson too as well. I mean, he had 32% of the targets and 65% of the air yards. Yes, we're not going to probably get 57 dropbacks, but if we get even 35, those are the kind of rates where it's still going to be just McBride and him probably soaking up the targets. Dortch is the guy you don't want to chase here. We sucked out. We'll take our win. He only had 10.7% of the targets. So we got lucky. We'll just move on. But I think it's fine to play Michael Wilson at his price as well, especially on this context of slate. And the matchups there, because the opportunity all lines up again. Jaguars allowing the second most points to wide receiver ones, outside receiver stuff like Daigle said is all there. He brought up what's funny is he brought up the Packer stuff and didn't even actually talk about their actual wide receiver one. Romeo Doubs out-targeted and outgained Christian Watson. Vikings are first in the rate of league 2 high safeties. Romeo Doubs leads the team in targets and yards per route run. He's also been targeted on 25% of his routes against the blitz. So he would be my preferred guy to play of the Packers, but I don't know if I'm going to play any of them. I would love to play Zay Flowers, but it feels like we're in the inevitable loop where if you need 72 yards, he'll get you 74. If you needed him to get you 80 yards, he'll get you 74. He's not allowed to score touchdowns. There's a force field. I thought he was going to score one last week. He got tripped up at the 3-yard line. Pain. But without Sauce Gardner, the Jets have allowed Jerry Jeudy, the Daigle mentioned, wide receiver 1 week. Stephon Diggs, 9 for 105 on Thursday, and then Jamar Chase, 12 catches as well. Chris Olave, in his first game without Rashid Shaheed, had 31% of the team targets and 53% of the air yards. Doesn't seem like anyone's really interested in playing him, but the Falcons have been pretty bad here recently. I don't know if you noticed, they gave up 450 passing yards to Bryce Young. Well, they have a lot of wide receivers to go along for the ride. Jalen Waddle had 5 for 99 and 1 against them. Tedero McMillan, 8 for 130 and 2. Demario Douglas had 100 yards. Alec Pierce, 4 for 84 and 1. They also play cover 3 at the league's highest rate. Olave, 35% of the team targets against cover 3, 2.9 yards per route run. So, yeah, like him. Oh, and I got one real bad one.
Yes, this is what I want. What a bad
Worse than
one.
Jerry Jeudy?
Yep.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Adonai Mitchell.
Oh,
First game with the team, ran around on 64% of the dropbacks. And once again, we lived the Adonai Mitchell experience. He was targeted on 29% of his routes. He had a 56% target rate against man coverage. He was beating Christian, like outright beating Gonzalez. He had 6 first read targets, which led the team. And going back to last year, out of all wide receivers that have run 200 or more routes, he is the wide receiver 13 in targets per route run against man coverage. He has been targeted on 43% of his routes. That is number 1 in the NFL against man coverage. Now, set up the lead. He dropped 3 passes. Only caught 1 of 6 targets or 10 yards. But going back to college, he's literally in more hype than anything he's ever put in the box score. But he's facing a team that's 5th in the rate of man coverage. He's getting a player that can actually throw a forward pass.
quarterback upgrade.
He's 3,200. I think this might be the one, man.
That's the running back. Lamar with Lamar, Henry, and Mitchell.
We're on a roll. We can't get let down because we had Kyle Williams, then we had Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson, now AD Mitchell. We're on a roll.
So these are the most popular receivers I'm having hitting right now on a Wednesday night, and the optimal stuff on DK. Wan'Dale Robinson, the most popular receiver. And you mentioned,
I said he's the new Jacoby Myers. He's just going to pop every week because he gets 25 to 30% of targets every week.
Jacoby Myers is also the new Jacoby Myers because he's coming in at 31%, which seems ridiculous. And both Green Bay guys, Watson and Dobbs, are in the top 5 or 6 guys hitting a lineup. So I don't like that as a construct. It's Wednesday night, whatever, grain of salt, but it's just interesting.
No, because we got to get to Lions receivers for sure. Like I think almost every lineup should have one Lions receiver.
Amon-Ra's the big spend. He's coming in at 47%.
Yeah. And I think J-Mo's at his price is pretty awesome.
Are people just not playing JSN this week? That's of note, right?
Yeah, probably not that probably won't be as popular as he could be. I think everyone's just expecting them to flood the Titans.
Yeah, well, will Darnold throw more than 12 passes this week, I guess, is the question, as he threw, not last week, obviously, but the previous
week. The way he's turned the ball over these past month, we talked about it last week. We talked about the game, like the tiebreaker, we talked the real football stance was that one quarterback turns the ball over and one doesn't. That was the difference. Last week. So if they get ahead, they might just be like, hey, it's going to be a lot of, like Daigle said, Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, George Halani, and the AJ Bonner touch push.
George Halani.
Dude, comes in for a few snaps.
Yeah. They basically try to play anyone else at the goal line but their running backs. Their top 2 running backs.
Yes. Yeah. How could we not? Because Kenneth Walker actually scored a touchdown last week from the goal line, but it took them being in hurry up to have to run a play through the 2-minute drill where they had a completion to the 1-yard line and had to go fast. And that's how he got the carry at the 1.
Absurd.
Daigle, tight ends. McBride, of course, is the most popular one hitting the lineup stuff right now. Just they can't make him expensive enough. The absence of Marv once again.
Yeah, what's the limit? Where do we cut this off?
I mean, there's slate context, obviously. But
since week 6, the only players with more fantasy points per game than Trey McBride are Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
with Jacoby,
those guys are 10K. Those guys are 10K.
8K, 8.5. Because also tight end is like, as far as a build, if you can play him a wide receiver, then sure, then I'll pay 9K for him, right? Just the way building lineups goes. But the point is well made. You want it's not high enough is the point.
He's against the pass funnel defense that sucks guarding tight ends. Like it's on the table again. What's the limit? What does he have to be for you not to put him in as many lives as you can?
And Zay Flowers needs himself a Jacoby Brissett because for the longest time Brissett wasn't allowed to score when he had Kyler Murray, but now that's been unlocked. He's getting in the end zone every single week. beyond McBride, John, we don't have salary. For some reason, we're pinching pennies. Where are we looking? We mentioned Brock Wright earlier. Who's left?
Don't have many, to be honest. Like, I'm still willing to chase just because of what the Jets have become the past couple of weeks. Again, as Reed's alluded to, since they've traded players, that even against tight ends like Harold Fannin and David Njoku, that combination as a single tight end had 60 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Henry last week, I understand, didn't get there, but for Hunter Henry, still 4 catches, 45 yards. So I'm still willing to play Mark Andrews, maybe even Isaiah Likely at their salaries. But beyond that, honestly, I really don't have many tight ends for you.
Rich, you got anything?
Because Trey McBride was also, and Brock Wright were also on my list.
Does Kelsey throw for juice?
Yeah, I had Kelsey. I think Kelsey would be my preferred actual stack for I play Mahomes. He has at least 54 receiving yards in 6 straight games. Since week 5, he's second of all tight ends in yard per route run. He's third in the position in rate of targets. The only tight end with more catches and yards than Kelsey over that span is Mr. McBride. He's still got some juice in the tank, man. Like Colts are 28th in receptions allowed to tight ends. We talked about the addition of Sauce, getting Charvarius Ward back. Like it could push some stuff to where they play more man coverage like Denver did. It could be more of a Kelsey lean. So can we play Kelsey and McBride together?
I think so. I think you can. I would have a hard time not playing McBride.
That's the thing. I want to play McBride so bad. Like, how many of these other guys am I even going to get to you? Like,
yeah. Trying to see what actually is hitting optimals right now. If there's anybody of note, yeah, it's McBride. Fannin is coming a little bit. Kelsey.
Okay.
Mark Andrews, Bowers. Don't forget about Bowers. I suppose he's another guy that just, the quarterback play is pretty bad, but we'll see. I mean, he certainly has the ability to have a big game.
My one concern with Bowers, and he's winning on the intermediate stuff, but the Raiders have started to play him at wide receiver, and we saw this early career at Kyle Pitts. It's just like not an efficient way to use your tight end. So Bowers, since he's come back, he's run 23% of his routes as a wide receiver out wide. This season, he's only been targeted on 18.3% of his routes out wide for 1.5 yards per route run. Because he's not a wide receiver. He's a mismatch dude, yes, but in the slot, been targeted on 44% of his routes, 4 yards per route run. Here's a fun one for Brock Bowers. He's only run 21 routes this season as an inline tight end, but on those, he's been targeted on 72% of his routes for 5.6 yards per run. 13 of 15. He's got 13 of 15 targets, 118 yards and a touchdown. Like, man, run some more design stuff with him attached to the line. I'd worry that, especially on Monday night, because, he did some of that stuff in scouts. Like, just don't line him up as a wide receiver. Like, don't fall into that trap. This is not an optimal way to utilize him.
I believe that's it as far as tight ends. I think yes, we're on empty. Pretty sure.
It's also for Brock Bowers, dude. That offensive line, it just cannot hold up, regardless of how many targets they want to get him. And then Pete Carroll came out after the Cowboys game and he was asked about Brock Bowers' usage in the first half, and he was puffing his chest. He was saying, yeah, that was the game plan. We need to see how many targets he could handle. They were getting their asses kicked by 3 scores. Like, great. You threw the ball to Brock Bowers, and your team is absolutely atrocious.
They had an 85% dropback rate in that game.
And it didn't matter at all.
They threw the ball 13% over expectations, 26% on first down. Ashton Janty had 7 yards rushing. He had an 11-yard run in the game.
That's the stat. That's a good one.
Colton Miller's not back still. Jackson Powers Johnson is sidelined. Like, it's against this Browns defensive line. Like, it's one of the. I don't know where Thorne's going to have this one, but I feel like this might be the number 1 defensive line.
Maybe. You probably guess before he even writes it. Yeah.
Pete Carroll, it's over, right? He's not coming back next year. Like, that's.
I still think it's Chip Kelly more than Pete Carroll, but honestly, it's an organizational failure to. Like, you add the running back because your offensive line is in place and the running back is a complementary piece. You don't grab the running back without an offensive line. That's kind of the issue. So it's not Ashton Genty's fault either. He's doing what he can. We're going to talk about our movie here in a second.
And I don't know what's going to happen with Shedeur, but I know at least he's not Dylan Gabriel. Like, he's probably going to be terrible, But
Yeah.
I like what Dylan Gabriel was doing, like, was not like football at all. At least when Shador came in, he tried to do some stuff. This is not a defensive shirt at all, but like at least he tried to throw the football forward past the line of scrimmage. Like, dude, Dylan Gabriel, 26% of his throws this season have gone 10 or more yards downfield, 5%, 20 or more yard downfield. Like what he was doing is just like, it was like simulate to end. It was like just starting the game. Like, what are we doing here? Gabriel has 10 completions that have gained 20 or more yards this season. That's fewer than JJ McCarthy on 35 fewer completions. Only Kyler Murray has fewer. And I don't remember what year Kyler Murray played football last at this point. Like,
you also called him JJ. You gave him JJ.
Oh, I did. Damn it. I broke the rule.
Sounds like you also might like Jerry Jeudy as well.
No, I just like the Dylan Gabriel experience. Like, it's not football,
but also
man.
that organization still hates Shador enough to where immediately after the game, now he did come in, he did go 4 of 16, threw a pick, and the Browns, who had a lead at the time when Gabriel was injured, then lost because of the Shador turnover and lots of other reasons. But they still hate Shador so much that they came out and said Dylan Gabriel's the starter whenever he clears concussion protocol.
The Dylan Gabriel experience sounds like a band that opens for Bowling Soup.
I don't know why. It's neither of theirs fault. I don't know why they drafted either. That is my entire point. Like, Dylan Gabriel should not have been drafted. Shador should not have been drafted. I don't know why they drafted either of them, let alone have both of them on their roster.
Did anybody else hate themselves enough to go down the Josina Anderson Twitter stuff with
it was art, actual art?
I don't know. I don't know the backstory. I know nothing of the backstory.
No, but just beautiful.
I don't think she knows the backstory.
Okay, I don't know what's going on there, or maybe she just, whatever reason, likes. Yeah, but she was very, very defensive of Sanders' play. But okay. Oh,
yeah, some other fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's some opportunities here. Like I said, we didn't even squeeze in like the full Jags Cardinals or Colts Chiefs. Like, there's stuff's gonna be fun.
I don't think we mentioned any offense. We mentioned Taylor in passing.
I'll tell you what, I am absolutely terrified to play Daniel Jones on the road against Steve Spagnuolo.
Is it possibly over just in general for Daniel Jones, or like he's been?
No, but I think there's some Darnoldish stuff. Like, we had seen some of the warts, right? Like, Shane Steichen's done a good job of hiding it for the most of the season, but the negative plays, like, you can only change your stripes for so much. I mean, in Pittsburgh in week 9, he had 5 turnovers and took 5 sacks. In Atlanta, not in Atlanta, they played in Germany. He had 2 turnovers and took 7 sacks. And now we're going at Spags on the road. And the Colts also have, like, the sample size is too small to like declare it, but like you worry about them on the road too, and like outside of the dome. Like, they're another one of these teams that, like, you know, and they do have Jonathan Taylor at least to like grind out some teams. That would be but like these teams like the Colts and the Cowboys and the Lions, like, you feel like you want these guys indoors, man. It's weird because the Colts are a team that try to throw to get ahead and then just beat you with Jonathan Taylor. Like, we got the lead. Here's a bunch of Jonathan Taylor. And are they able to do that here? That's been their philosophy on offense the entire season so far. Like, he's been the closer. In the first half this year, Jonathan Taylor actually only averages 42 rushing yards per game. That's the RB6. Again, just mortal. He's still really good. It's just mortal. He only has 5 rushing touchdowns in the first half of games this season. Again, still good, but mortal. But in the second half of the season, this dude has 700 rushing yards. He averages 7.5 yards per carry in the second half of games. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns. Like, they are 5th in drop back rate in the first half of games. They want to get ahead with the pass and then just beat you. Then just John Taylor, here's your time. And I don't know if that's like that style gets them over this week.
And for Darnold and the Seahawks, it's just like when that's in his range of outcomes, which we all knew, we're reminded once a year, but when that's in your range of outcomes, how do you win 3 playoff games in a row? I don't know how they would ever like beat the Rams or even 3 games in a row to make them the Super Bowl.
They can get a bye and win 2, right? That's one way to do it. I agree with you though. I don't really trust Darnold to win 3 games in a row as well.
AFC playoffs are gonna be wild. We're gonna have like early matchups that we would typically not see in like previous years.
But also, Seattle's so good. Like, I think the fact they only lost by 2 points after 4 turnovers like that.
Yeah, that defense is real.
That shows you, like, if it clicks, if it all falls together, they are absolutely a Super Bowl team.
We also
these positionless guys are like getting these guys like a Nick Manowari and like how Kyle Hamilton's playing this year. Like, these guys that are just football dudes. Like, they just do it all. What a luxury to have those guys on defense.
Denver currently the 1 seed. I guess. Well, Denver's 9-2. New England 9-2. Yeah, we talked about Kansas City being.
And I mean, you got to go on the road to Mile High. Like you don't trust Bo Nix, but like that's another legit defense. And listen, Bo Nix played great in the second half of that game. Like I gotta give him some credit because I've taken my shots at Bo Nix because I thought he was overvalued in fantasy this year. And but he played. I thought in the second half that was the best football he's played all season outside that fourth quarter against the Giants.
It still seems so wild. They've strung 8 wins together now, and like in between that, he had the Raiders primetime game. He had the Texans game. Like he had some, and the Texans are a good defense. Don't get me wrong, but dude, he's had some like non-NFL quarterback games.
Yeah, week 1 against the Titans was like, I mean, it was awful.
It's like they're a team that I understand their defense can carry them. But like, I just don't even, and maybe it's on me. I don't take them seriously at all.
I also think
Nix is there.
I also think the loss of J.K. Dobbins is actually a value to them because I think J.K. Dobbins structurally kept them on schedule more than R.J. Harvey can, and maybe R.J. Harvey turns it around. We'll see, but it's been pretty unimpressive with him as a ball carrier.
Daigle, Wednesday night, your favorite stack, Week 12, main slate. What do you like?
Gosh, Jackson Dart with Lions coming back and the Ravens passing offense.
Hribar?
Yeah, I mean, the chalk is Lions.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't mind the Dart stuff. Do I have anything off the wall that I said besides A.D. Mitchell?
A.D. Mitchell with the Baltimore.
I mean,
yeah,
Lamar, Mark Andrews, and A.D. Mitchell. That's only.
I think in non-stacks though. I just think as the cheap 3,200 guy. That's like
as like a flyer to kind of make stuff.
I've played worse. I played Jalen Lane a couple weeks ago and won a bunch and still won money with those lineups because the Lions got there. But who's to say A.D. Mitchell can't catch a ball or two?
I mean, he can get open, right? That's one thing he can do. But we'll
even not catch the ball. But he does everything that you want a receiver to do. Except for the thing that matters the most.
Yes. All right. Gave the people an hour and a half content for Week 12. Do hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Appreciate y'all tuning in. But we're now going to segue to our movie conversation. If you don't want to hear that, good luck this week. And, take something down and join us for Week 13. Is Thanksgiving, right? Are we doing something for Thanksgiving? Have we figured that out? Have we talked about that?
We usually just do schedule as is, right?
Yeah, we usually do schedule as is. We talk about the slate, but then we also save room for the Sunday slate after we talk about Thanksgiving slate. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but dude, the Thanksgiving slate this year is really fun.
Is it? I haven't looked.
Yeah, we got 3 hot games. I mean,
they did us right this year.
They could fail for sure, but like Packers at Lions indoors in Detroit, it's fun.
Okay.
Chiefs at Cowboys indoors. And then the Bengals at the Ravens. Like, those are 3 games that could absolutely pop off.
Oh, Joe Burrow's playing that game. If he's not playing this week, Burrow's playing that game, right?
Yeah, you asked me, and I danced around it, but it's just hard. It's hard to keep projecting Burrow just because, by all reports, he's rushing back. And he's rushing back to try to drag them to the postseason.
Yeah.
But again, out of their next 3 games, the one that they should have won was the Steelers, since they play impossible spots against the Patriots and Ravens coming up. And the Steelers
can't lose at home
them.
to the Jets. You can't lose at home to the Jets and expect to make the playoffs. Like
that's a non-starter.
It's a non-starter.
And the Steelers just clowned them. It just seems like we're trending once again towards, at the end of the year, Bengals fans complaining about the schedule, even though they do it to themselves in the first month of every season.
I mean, they're 3-7. Like, if he's hurting in any way, I mean, he's a competitor. Obviously, he wants to play and all that, but I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't push him.
I think if he's ready to play and he's cleared to play, he's gonna play. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's Daigle saying maybe he's rushing, which all these guys want to play, right? Okay.
You're going to be able to bet against it. There'll be ownership on Joe Burrow.
His job is quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. Like if he feels like he's healthy enough to do the job, he's gonna come back and do it. That's just like that's where it starts and ends.
Fair enough.
I mean, listen, I didn't want you guys. No one was mad when Christian McCaffrey is getting his 3rd touchdown up 30 points and 5 minutes to go in the game for no damn reason. Like no one's like take him off the field. Everyone's like, give us our damn points.
It's not like he has a history of injuries. Oh wait, maybe the one I couldn't believe, actually, I was bad about this. Justin Herbert was out there down like 4 touchdowns with like 8 minutes to go.
Oh my god!
And the offensive line just like a turnstile. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, dude, I played some Chargers, and boy, did that not go well.
That was my single entry core, was Chargers quads. And as someone who played it, I can tell you, I was not in the green. It did not go well last week.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring TJ. TJ jumping in there in just a second. TJ is going to tell you that he played, and I know he did, a bunch of Arizona triples.
Yep. That's what won.
Mm-hmm.
So he himself.
Triples were hot.
I mean, if you just had the triples and Christian McCaffrey and junk around it, you still had 150 points.
You beat Josh Allen. Yeah, you beat him.
I showed you guys the $100 single entry on FanDuel that I cashed, and like my team stunk. And I'm like, I don't know how it did it.
Last week we didn't talk about it. Last week was like the first mega chalk fail week.
Yeah, with the exception of Arizona.
Yeah,
took 11 weeks, so we finally got one.
Yeah, because Arizona was chalk because they were so cheap and you could insulate the offense against the 49ers.
Josh Jacobs got hurt.
Yes, but around there. Oh yeah, I played Josh Jacobs too. I just had failure across the board.
I had a ton of Jacoby Brissett triple stacks last week, and I had Josh Allen was my second highest owned quarterback, and I even had some Sean Tucker lineups paired with him, but had 40% Jalen Warren and 35% Josh Jacobs, so that kind of cooked me.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, in the green, man.
Oh yeah, and I have to apologize to everybody that's listening to this show because we let TJ win. And now our life is going to be miserable this week.
I'm already.
I can't wait.
I'm being the only one that picks good movies.
Who is?
Me.
Okay. Well,
we
don't know. You haven't picked one yet this year.
Daigle and Rich movies are fine. When Daigle and Rich win, I'm good with it. Rob and Dean movies are objectively terrible.
House of Dynamite turned out not fine, but I did try my best for everyone.
To be clear, I was intentionally picking terrible movies.
Yeah, we need a terrible movie. We need a terrible movie.
I like watching good movies as opposed to terrible ones.
I just want Dean to watch Pan's Labyrinth. That if I have to win and force that, I'm going to. Like I think
we've largely been all right this year. I can't. What do we have that was?
What was the worst?
Vengeance.
Yeah, but Ice Road Vengeance was also kind of fun too. Like it was fine.
Yeah, we
got the meme of the season we've used the entire year from that movie.
We got Weapons and Frankenstein. I think we've done a good job so far. I think we've all been kind to each other this year.
Yeah,
well, I have a bad feeling TJ's gonna.
I'm excited.
Frankenstein were rich. My point.
Dude, Frankenstein was awesome. And now you're seeing all the memes pop up because everyone's seen Frankenstein now. Like it shows. I saw a meme where it's the captain's face, and just underneath the caption is the face of a man who's about to be trauma dumped on for the next 6 hours of his life because he just gets told the whole story by both sides.
I think we're the reason that everyone started watching Frankenstein, by the way. I'm going to give us the W on that one.
Just because of us?
Yeah.
We watched Naked Gun. That was fun.
Naked Gun was fun. Yep.
Who picked? That was me. I think that was me, right? Pretty sure that was me. Yeah, it was given to
Liam because Liam Neeson.
There you go. Shout out to Liam Neeson. Our sixth number.
We're doing good. We're okay.
Yeah, we've done all right.
Rich picked Arrival from the year 2016, starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner, directed by the great Denis Villeneuve. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Denis? How do you pronounce that, TJ?
Villeneuve.
Oh, is he French? Is that what he's French, right?
Yeah, I actually have two former colleagues and a former teacher of mine that I used to work with who went to high school with him.
Yeah, that makes sense. You also taught French, so I should have pronounced that better. But I did. That
wasn't bad.
I tried my best, but yeah, he's a hot director these days. The synopsis for Arrival, if you're not aware. By the way, spoilers. Spoiler. Yeah, it's 10 years. Come on, what are we doing? Linguistics professor Louise Banks, that's Amy Adams, leads an elite team of investigators when gigantic spaceships touch down in 12 locations around the world. As nations teeter on the verge of global war, Banks and her crew must race against time to find a way to communicate with the extraterrestrial visitors. Hoping to unravel the mystery, she takes a chance that could threaten her life and quite possibly all of mankind. Rich, you selected this. I know you've seen this already. Is anybody not? Yeah. Is this first time for anybody? Oh, okay. So I want Rob to open it up. Wait, TJ too. Okay. Well, Rob, you raised your hand first. You've never seen Arrival, so I want you to open up a. Did you know anything about this? You going cold?
I mean, I knew it was like a space movie, but I didn't really know what the premise was. Overall, it's not a bad movie. It's a movie, is what I will say. It's just it's a movie. It's fine. I thought I have weird takes on this movie. I'll just go through and hit my negatives because I think everyone's going to be pretty positive on this. So I'll do my part on the show that I usually do.
This is your role. You know your role.
The heel.
I thought the color grading on 75% of this movie was effing terrible. I thought it just was one of my biggest detractions from this movie and this is also the 2016 era where they were kind of all chasing. Oh my God, what was the show on Netflix? Ozarks, where Ozarks just used a blue filter on everything. So everyone just started using a blue filter on everything. And it's just guys, what are we doing with the color grading on this movie? I thought that was terrible. I think when your premise is the aliens are helping you because they need humans to help them in 3,000 years is a wild number to pick, because we don't even have 3,000 years of sustained written history in mankind, and we're definitely going to blow each other up in 3,000 years. So maybe push that for 3,000
now that they brought us together, Rob. They brought us together.
Yeah, for 3,000 years, bro. We can't stay together for 90 minutes to discuss football. All right. It's just a little bit too long. The acting is obviously fine. The shot setups are fine in this. I also don't like movies when they take a random job, like a linguistics expert, and now they're the savior of mankind because they could read something. I don't know. It's fine. It's a good movie, but it's not a great movie, is what I will say.
So TJ, you're always the face. You always, no matter how bad the movie is, unless I pick it, I guess, you usually talk about it glowingly. How did you feel about Arrival? What did you know about it going in?
I knew it was about an alien invasion, but that was all the whole premise that I kind of had. Who picked Interstellar at the beginning of the year?
Nobody. You just watched it and we talked about it.
You just watched it.
Oh, okay. I for some reason thought we reviewed that as a podcast.
Great movie.
We did, didn't we?
I thought we did.
We just talked about it because TJ had watched it. We just used
was that just week one?
Yeah, I think it's week one we talked about it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. This
we talked about
a lot
TARS.
of this movie felt to me an inferior Interstellar in a lot of different ways, a very similar sci-fi feel to that one. I brought up off camera before we started that I had a little bit of a hot take, and I think it's that I do need a larger sample size. Sicario and Blade Runner 2049 are two movies I have not seen that are right at the top of my list. I don't think I really like Denis Villeneuve as a filmmaker.
He's Canadian. Your fellow French Canadian.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me.
Oh,
I'm also not French Canadian.
More so.
I just don't really think I like him as a filmmaker. He had a quote from the Dune 2 press tour of where he said, "Frankly, I hate dialogue. Dialogue is for theater and television. I don't remember movies because of a good line. I remember movies because of a strong image." That's basically the polar opposite of how I feel. That's kind of the direct contradiction of the type of movies that I enjoy. And I thought the first Dune was just aggressively boring. I thought the second one was good, but I didn't get the hype. And that's how I feel about Arrival. I thought it was good, but I don't really understand that the hype that this movie has. Many consider it one of the best movies of the 2010s. It was nominated for Best Picture that year. I don't get that. I found the first half of this movie quite boring, and maybe that's just my rampant ADHD, but I kind of felt like nothing was happening for the whole first half of this movie. And I do get that it was.
But would you now that you know the twist, not necessarily twist,
I clocked it 30 minutes into the movie. That didn't feel like a twist for me. I clocked that really quick, and so it just kind of felt like it was leading up to that inevitable end, and it just didn't really do it for me. I did find the last 45 minutes of this movie I found quite intriguing and quite captivating, but first hour I just found pretty boring.
Do you think the visual cue that he really liked was just watching Amy Adams wake up 300 times in this movie?
Well, she wasn't talking, so you like that, I guess, right?
I think she was pretty great. I think Amy Adams was pretty great. Renner's fine. Renner's the same in everything he's ever been in, but
he wasn't asked to do a lot.
No, but I think Amy Adams did a great job with like probably a lot of the things, like really breaking down the process and thinking about it. Like a lot of that movie, she was probably just looking at green screen, and I thought she did a really good job.
We were also just looking at green screen this entire movie. Green filters and blue filters.
By the way, TJ, I said this in our private chat, but I haven't seen the Dune movies, but Prisoners is one of the best movies of the 2010s that Denis Villeneuve, he directed.
Prisoners is great.
Prisoners is an incredible movie. Thank you. Somebody else vouching for Prisoners, but
it's on that one's on the list as well. I just didn't have it. I had it kind of third behind Sicario and Blade Runner 2049, just because that one I've kind of either heard it's incredible or awful, like awesome or I can't get through this movie. Prisoners, that is.
Not a fun movie. It's not a fun movie as far as the context, but it's actually a good movie. So you got to be in a certain mood, I suppose. I don't want to give anything away, but it's just not fun.
I found Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 like combo package on DVD for $6.99, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Rich, why did you pick Arrival?
I always just wanted to revisit it, man. It's a movie that I remember seeing when I was younger, and like these movies, like that kind of, give you something to think about a little bit. It's like, are you want to revisit them at different times of your life and seeing it for a second time, like in like. A lot of people think like this is like her being able to see the future, but it's, living, everything is, you simultaneously see memory. It's like the language is, you see everything on a circle. It's not like individual moments. And then when you see like the first act and stuff, like some of that stuff stands out even more. I think this movie is like really solid. I think it's fascinating. I actually think better than Nolan's movies because it's not a smell your own farts. You need a thesaurus to try to figure out what's going on. It's just very clear what happened. It's not overly complicated, and it's just a good hook. I think it's nice and clean, and it's just real solid.
If you didn't know who directed this, though, you would guess that Nolan, like he would be one of your first 2 or 3 guesses, right? I feel like, at least for me.
Because there'd be if first of all, it'd be
not big enough.
It'd be 55 minutes longer.
Yeah.
But the subject, kind of the twist.
Yeah.
No one likes.
It would be way more overly complicated and unclear.
It didn't look like a Nolan movie. Just visually, it didn't look like a Nolan movie. He would never film a movie the way this movie was filmed.
Yeah, I guess like the synopsis is Nolan-esque. Maybe the rest of us no, but just like the plot and the time and that kind of stuff. But
the question about in this movie that I found the most intriguing, that I felt just like wasn't really explored enough, was if your path is going to end in tragedy, do you take that path because of what you'll experience along the way anyways? That to me was the most kind of intriguing part that wasn't explored for enough of the movie, I felt.
Don't you think it was explored though? Oh well, no, you don't. You just answered that question. But like
I do think it was explored, but I thought that was the most interesting part of the movie, and I would have liked more of it.
Because that's like a great philosophical question of life is if you knew the pain ahead of you, would you still take the route? And I feel like it answers. And the second half of the movie is basically her taking that route, even though she knows the end.
Yeah, but it needed this.
The last 45 minutes of this movie was really when I was like, finally like, oh, I guess I'm going to step up in my seat. Like that meme of just like the little arrow.
But it's not about changing anything. It's about getting to that next point. That's the whole point. It's why the one alien has to die, even though he knows it. It's the same thing. Like it's not. There's no actual choice.
No, but the thing that I think this movie was missing that would have made it a little bit better, to TJ's point, is it should have had a scene with her breaking the news about the daughter to Renner in there. Like we should have had that particular scene.
Are you sure?
Instead of the implied divorce, give us the actual breaking down.
Give us his reaction to that news, right?
Is that grounds for divorce, by the way?
Yeah, dude. Of course it is.
Is it? Like, maybe if it was for the best. Like, what is it? How is it better if he knows? You're saying he should know that going in, and so he can get out early.
I'm saying that like you either tell him or you don't. You don't middle it.
Yeah, you don't tell him after the fact.
Yeah, you don't middle it.
And the answer is you don't tell him at all because she asked him.
You don't say anything. You're supposed.
No,
This is
she
your
asked him,
partner.
would you want to know? And he said no.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to know either. By the way, this movie also, like, it's not the same, but similar thought process. Similar question, I guess. TJ, have you seen My Old Ass?
Yes, really like that movie.
The movie. I should be
That
clear.
was a really great movie. I'll watch anything Aubrey Plaza's in, though.
Yeah. But do you see any sort of, like, it's obviously a different movie, but similar sort of thought, I guess. I don't know. I would recommend that if those people have not seen that movie. Kind of just snuck out there for a couple of years. I think it was on Amazon last I saw it. By the way, shout out to TJ for catching on. I didn't know the first half hour. I didn't know the twist the first time I saw this.
I still don't think he's getting it. There's no future. There's no future or anything though. Like it's not a loop. It's simultaneous all the time. That's how the aliens live.
I'm not saying she could have done anything to change what was going to happen. I'm saying that moral question is fascinating to me.
Yeah. Daigle, you've seen this before, right? Yeah. So I was gonna say when you caught on, but you already you knew it. You knew when that there was a twist. We see the ending in the beginning, which I always think is pretty clever. I like the fact that the kid's name was Hannah. The palindrome. I thought that was pretty clever. Just a little subtle little thing that I like when they characters are named certain things for certain reasons that make sense at the end of the movie. Trying to think what else is that how it would have gone? Is that how I think it was pretty realistic as far as the different countries and civilians. Do you feel, Rich, that that's how people would have reacted? Was that realistic?
Maybe. It's just like what we can't figure out what's going on. Let's just blow it up.
We don't want to know, but yeah. And like the game of chicken, or just not trusting other countries, even though you should be banding together. That kind of thing too is I thought that was interesting. I don't think they explored that enough, but I did think that was pretty interesting.
That is also a terrifying thought of, like, if anything ever comes from outer space, whether it be aliens or a meteor or whatever it is, like, there's no chance of the whole world working together. That's why I think it's a heavily criticized movie, but it's why Don't Look Up is terrifying, right? Like,
but I thought it was cool that it was not like an actual invasion. It's why it's called Arrival. It's a. But there was no like actual invasion or element to it at all. There was like nothing aggressive. So it's like a different take on like usually that genre. I thought like the designs and stuff were cool. Like the ships and the aliens were really cool.
Yeah, because it's more about the miscommunication between us, or like our understanding of communication. It teaches you a lot, I feel like, about that. Even the Russians killing their own when the message was, what was it? There is no time. I believe the aliens passed on, but then the Russians misunderstood that as the aliens attacking us when they were letting them know, like, hey, there is no time from our end. Like, we are trying to help out here.
We are in no rush.
Yeah. So
I heard somebody say the reason why they call them Abbott and Costello, Abbott and Costello most famous for Who's on First.
Yeah.
And Who's on First, the premise of Who's on First is a miscommunication, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I'm like, oh, that makes sense. What's that, Rob?
I'm sure it was, if that's, like, if we're going that route.
Yeah.
Also, those military guys would have never been able to sneak those explosives into that room. Just would have never, ever happened in real life. Well,
the other thing is, I don't know how, like, I know she's the best in her field and yada, yada, but that cracking that code seems really difficult. Like, a lot of those blocks looks very similar to me.
Listen, I mean, Ludacris learned electronics somehow 3 movies later. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions about the greats.
We were from stealing VCRs.
Okay, he had a life before you knew him too.
Don't ask questions about the greats. Also, it's sci-fi. Like, I know we're nitpicking storylines here, but I don't know. Just chalk it up to sci-fi. Like, Josh Jacobs in a bad matchup can score 3 touchdowns because he gets all the touches. Sci-fi, just let it go. They could have some loops in the story.
When she's talking to the aliens in like a 12-minute scene of just them going back and forth, I really could have used some subtitles instead of having to wait for her to debrief somebody else. Felt like I really could have used some subtitles.
I think they used them in the helicopter scene when it was insanely loud and you couldn't actually hear what they were talking because the sound design was terrible right there.
Well, she couldn't hear at first, right? Remember, she had to put the ears on.
Yeah, but I mean, we could get subtitles we could hear. Like, that would be nice.
I think the last 10 minutes are great. I think the score is hauntingly beautiful.
Score's great.
I actually watched this movie twice, by the way, because I love this movie so much. I don't know if it speaks to me about communication. I have no idea, but I genuinely love this movie. So yeah, I agree with what everyone said. I think it offers a lot more questions and layers, even though most of those layers are answered. And I think there is no filler, like for, roughly a 2-hour movie. I think every minute's important as well. And I'm never bored. I'm always wondering, even if you were to guess the ending 30 minutes in, I still think there's enough there to where it unpacks it slowly for you.
Also, there's like very little action as far as like actual things blowing up. Like it's minimal. Like there's
not an action movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Dynamite movie we saw earlier in the year. Similar to that extent, I suppose. Just building tension.
Still 600% more dynamite in this movie than House of Dynamite.
We're keeping
Also
that
more
streak
ice
alive.
and more roads than Ice Road Vengeance.
I think that is correct. Yes.
I will say that like the thing with the guessing how like the twist at the end of the movie for me just had so much to do of I'm watching the beginning of this movie and thinking, this reminds me a lot of Interstellar. And so that idea of I wonder if this is all happening in the same time / has already happened, not happened yet. That thought process was like fresh in my mind from the onset of the movie.
Do you think Amy Adams was exposed to something that maybe she made her child more likely to get, I guess it was cancer?
That's all right. I mean, that's never really talked about. I don't know if it was like implied or not, but I kind of you always think that too.
I didn't clock that, but I think that's a really interesting take.
Yeah. That was another thing I saw. I saw somebody else. I'd say, yeah, it's an interesting note. I mean, I don't know if that was something that was answered, but I can see it being like, make the point that maybe she was contaminated or she was exposed to something and, for taking off her hazmat suit. All right. We got anything else here or shall we throw a score on it? Well, no. We're going to be playing the old Rotten Tomatoes IMDb game.
Oh, this would be a good one.
Rich, you're going to go first for me. Rotten Tomatoes, critics. There's 441 critics. Over 50,000 civilians also ranked it on Rotten Tomatoes. Give me both scores.
I feel like based on this conversation, it's probably a lot. Like I think there's not want to call it divide, but like most people think it's good, but some people think it's either just good or and some people hold it in high regard.
Good enough.
So I will say critics 83, audience 81.
Daigle?
Gosh, are critics or audience higher? Probably. So let's go audience 74, critics 83. Wait, did Rich just say 83?
He said 81, I believe.
82.
Well,
That's how the game goes.
TJ, where are you going to go?
I might have to lower mine a little bit because I was going way higher, but I think like critics adore Denis Villeneuve. They think his shit don't stink. I know that because I feel like I'm the only one who actually doesn't really like his movies within the circles. But I will go critics 94%, audience 85.
Rob?
90 and 88.
94% for the critics. TJ got it. TJ
94.
94% out of 441 critics. 94%. And the audience.
Is that the highest one we've done?
It might be. Yeah, that's pretty strong. I think it might be the highest number we've had. Both Reebs and Daigle were dancing around it. I thought TJ was going to get there. 83. 83 wow. as far as the audience. IMDb 1 through 10. Rob, what do you got?
94. That 94 threw me off for this.
I'm too high. No, so I'll stick with my score. 7-3.
7-3. TJ?
It's fine.
7-7.
Daigle?
8-1.
Damn, I was gonna say 8. So
Rich?
I might as well say 8 then too. I might as well say 8 because that's what I was thinking. That 94 threw me off. I felt like everything was too low on everything now.
7-9. So very, very high score for IMDb. That's a big score for sure.
Thought we were gonna get one in the 8s.
Yeah, it's hovering. I wanted to see like how I feel like there's not a lot of movies in the 8s on IMDb. 9s is like unheard of, basically. There's only like a few movies, like 5 or 6 movies in the 9s.
Yeah.
But
It's
okay.
like The Godfather, Ice Road Vengeance.
Shawshank. Well, I don't know. I have not checked out Ice Road
Yes,
Vengeance.
the top 5.
Shawshank.
That's one.
Godfather. I think somebody agreed with that. Was that Rob? I think it's Godfather.
Godfather is 2.
Now, wait. Is Godfather 2 also on there? You said 2.
Sorry. Godfather is the number 2. Shawshank is 1. Godfather's 2.
Okay. Anybody else have a guess?
Godfather 2.
Yeah.
Godfather Part 2 is 4.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying when you said, okay, that's why I should have asked for clarity. What else?
It's got to be an old movie, right?
Citizen Kane.
Old movie is 5.
Citizen Kane.
What's old
12
though? Is
Angry
Pulp
Men.
Fiction old? Because Pulp Fiction's top 10.
12 Angry Men is
Okay.
That's a classic.
What about the Schindler, which we said I'll never watch again in my life?
7. Number 3 is my favorite movie of all time.
Great movie. I just will never watch it again.
Number 3 is my favorite movie of all time.
K-pop, whatever. What is that K-pop? What's that called? K-pop Warriors or something?
I bet you K-pop Demon Hunters is over 8 on IMDb.
Is the audience old enough to register a score on IMDb?
It's The Dark Knight. Dark Knight is 3.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
I would not have guessed it would be that high.
Pretty universally
Pulp Fiction is
loved
9,
movie, though.
by the way. Pulp Fiction is 9.
Okay. I knew it was top
Alright.
10. Yeah.
Can go with that.
But Arrival, Pulp Fiction, they both they open at the beginning. They open at the end. Right? There's a similar crossover for the two. Okay. Rob, you want to give me a score, 1 through 5?
3-4.
No, that's not terrible.
It's above. I've said it was a good movie. It's just not 4s worthy. It's 3-4.
TJ,
We just got a 5 out of Rob last show, so
he's got to come back. Yeah, he's got to turn back heel for sure. TJ, what do you have as far as I guess a superhero of some sort?
Yeah, I kind of tossed and turned a little bit on this one, but I'm going with the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton in the first Doctor Strange movies. A character that time is very relative for. They wield a stone that allows, in the movie at least, they wield a stone that allows them to see back in time, see forward in time, basically see time as a flat surface as opposed to something linear. So I thought it fit for this one. In terms of letterbox score, I threw up a 4.5. I threw a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 5. 4 stars. For me personally, 3.5 stars, but I knew that was because a lot of it it wasn't necessarily for me, so I bumped it up to a 4.
Is Watchmen a superhero? Is that a person? Is that I don't?
It's a series.
Okay.
The HBO series is not just comic books, but it's considered one of the better TV series of all time.
Because I thought there something of the clock, or am I thinking of what's the Idris Elba?
Yeah, the Doomsday Clock is part of it. But
Okay, I didn't do any research on it, but I was thinking in my head. This is not my world, obviously, but I thought Watchmen.
I haven't seen the HBO series, and it's the one piece of it is the one piece of good superhero content I've never seen before. But I kind of want to wait until we have a blank space on the Agents Found in podcast, so I can do a first watch podcast while somebody does a rewatch kind of thing.
Daigle, we need a wrestler.
have you not read the original Watchmen?
I know nothing Watchmen other than the general premise.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
So it's something that I'm gonna save up and kind of make an event for and fully dive in.
I'm curious. We should do the Snyder Watchmen.
Gonna make
Is it
you guys
bad?
watch Zack Snyder Justice League, all 6 hours of it.
It's
I remember-
considered bad.
I remember going to theaters for one of them. What was the one that came out a decade ago?
I remember reading it as in my youth when it came out.
Whatever the one was come out over a decade ago.
Yeah, the
I-
Snyder one.
Yeah, the Snyder one.
The Snyder one. The TV show is better than the Snyder.
TV show's good. The movie's not good.
The movie
movie
has
was good.
redeeming qualities.
just long.
It's
For someone who didn't know anything about comic books, the way it's portrayed in the advertisements leading up to going to theaters was more of an action movie. And I get there and there's this blue man philosophizing about the world. And I'm like, what the hell is this movie?
Buddy,
I just wanted ludicrous.
It's a giant blue penis. Billy Crudup giant blue penis.
Zack Snyder is also take the slower pace of focusing on visuals of Denis Villeneuve and amplify it by 706. Like 2/3 of his movies are like slow visual montages.
Yeah, that's why studios have to rein him in.
Yeah.
Usually,
That movie is like that could have been good if Zack Snyder do his Zack Snyder thing and get in the way and had some weird casting choices. But like Jackie Earle Haley is phenomenal in that movie, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is amazing in that movie.
Yeah,
I compare it to.
It's also nothing like the original book too. They changed stuff, even though it's literally shot like the comic panels.
Well, I like the TV show, and I need to read the book then, because again, like Drive with Ryan Gosling, it was not advertised as such. Then you watch the movie, you're like, oh, like this is something that I did not expect. Yeah, Watchmen, I had no idea.
That was me when I saw Nora. That was not the movie I thought I was gonna watch.
Did you like it, Nora?
Yeah, it was literally about a stripper getting strippered. Like,
Yeah, no, I've
that's
seen
the
it.
moral. The stripper got strippered. Like, you got.
The middle part was very funny. I didn't realize the comedy was going to be happening. Bottle Rocket, by the way, is it called Bottle Rocket? What's the one where is that the same director? Right, that's a fun watch too. I would recommend that one. But we're getting off track. We need to get a wrestler.
Yeah. Oh yeah, give us. Wait, take on.
A misunderstood wrestler who lacked communication skills, but then was always right. Someone just had to listen to him. I believe is CM Punk, because always wanting to get to the top and was very frustrated by his role in the WWE, who they saw him as an important role player, even had a couple title defenses of the World Heavyweight Championship against Jeff Hardy early in his career. But for a while then just kind of toiled away as a face, the leader of the Nexus, for example, and bringing the NXT wrestlers up and just kind of leading them on screen. It was never viewed as someone who was actually going to like be the face of the company and beat John Cena ever. So much so that the famous summer of 2011, the summer of Punk, whenever his promo, the pipe bomb, he sits on the ramp. Before that, he actually had signed, his contract had ended, and that was part of the storylines, but that was real. And he signed a 2-day extension. Again, he's so pissed off that he can fight Money in the Bank in Chicago, but then he's done with the company after that because he wanted to take a leave of absence and just kind of figure out his career. But the pipe bomb and, the way Vince McMahon operated, he just makes so much money. And then he realized, oh, well, this guy's got something. And that whole storyline of 2011 Money in the Bank with Punk and Cena was because of Punk. He was right all along. He was just misunderstood in the way he communicated. So to also then become one of the best wrestlers, one of the best promo guys of all time, it reminds me of Arrival, which is one of my favorite movies. So I think Arrival is CM Punk.
Rob?
I understand your decision.
But you're not happy with it.
But CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers, so to waste him on Arrival angers me.
You're wrong on that opinion.
I love
as well.
it. I love it.
Who would you have used, Rob?
Not CM Punk. That's for damn sure. I for this one, who is good but just good? Oh, this is Jack Swagger. That's who this is.
No, this movie's better than Jack Swagger.
This movie's Jack Swagger.
I'm gonna give it I give a 1 out of 100. 1 out of 100. 81. I thought this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good thinker. It's watching it again. You see it in a different way, obviously, and there's some clever little stuff put in there. So I liked it. I thought it was really, really well done. And we have to get a tight end from Rich.
I was gonna try to do something elaborate, but then I saw the heptapods and Darnell Washington's been everywhere this week, and I'm just like, that look at this alien that's Darnell Washington. I just gotta go with Darnell Washington. So we seen him on the. Did you see on the St. Brown podcast? Because he's listed at 265, and they asked him. They're like, "Come on, man." He tried to act like he was weighted. They're like, "Dude, you get weighed and everything." He said he's 311 pounds. And imagine this is literally like a you saw the play that everyone said, like the Angry Roads are like, imagine trying to tackle that dude. 311-pound pass catcher. Get out of here, man. But when you finally see like the aliens when they're just not the squids that you see, and when you see the full scale, like I said, just like this is Darnell Washington. So this is what it is.
The aliens looked a little bit like the Simpsons, like a Halloween. You know, the aliens.
Yeah.
You know, just a little. I don't know if they're similar, somewhat similar. I guess they don't have to be during the Halloween episodes. They kind of pop up in different episodes as well. But all right,
Real quick, did any of you guys watch this TV series Spartacus?
no.
Yes. I tried to sell Dean on this a million times.
Oh, I enjoyed Spartacus a lot. Have you seen they got a new series coming out?
I don't know, but I imagine they do. But I think it has one of the best series finales that I've ever. Like the actual series finale is like a banger of bangers.
It's
2 seasons,
good.
3 seasons.
3 seasons. I think there's 4 seasons technically because one season is like an intertwined story because the original actor had cancer and they were trying to see if he would clear, and so they made like a sideshow off of like a different character. So I think it's like technically 4 that go together, but
That season was good too. But I just bring it up because it has the weirdest marketing I've ever seen.
Mhm.
They're doing this marketing where they're only showing stuff from the old seasons. They're not showing anything from the new
Interesting.
series.
But do you remember like Thrones came out and everyone just forgot about it because like Thrones was just so big.
Yeah. But I feel like it's going to be terrible. Like if you can't show me what's going to happen,
It ended so good, man. Like it was
why are we doing more of this? Yeah.
The finale of that series, incredible.
Yeah, so good. So
We need TJ to assign a movie for us. Do we have is this democracy or do we just the movie is going to be what it is and that's that?
It is a democracy. And so the backup, of course, if you guys don't want to do the main one I'm throwing out there is K-pop Demon Hunters because Dean does not respect animation. And it's truly a top 10 movie this year. It's a wonderful, wonderful film with really great music. And so just look at that snarky little look on your face when I said that.
I didn't say anything.
The animation is unbelievable.
Isn't it like 90+% on Rotten Tomatoes? Oh wait, I shouldn't say that before the game. Sorry.
It is. It's one of the best movies of the year. It is. It's Netflix's most watched film of all time for a reason. Having said that,
that's not the best. That's not the endorsement you think it is.
Oh, I'm sorry that
it might be good, but not for that reason.
Service that has been going on forever. It's the most watched movie in the history of it, Dean.
We had a birthday poker night this past weekend that your boy came out on top. Not surprising, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But the point of the story is that for this guy's birthday, he got to pick the music and the drinks and whatever. And we played that effing K-pop Demon soundtrack the entire night. And I've never seen the movie. I know nothing about it. I just know I heard the soundtrack for 6 hours of my life.
Was he turning 14?
Might as well. He was turning the age of TJ.
As someone with kids, I have seen it without seeing it and seeing it 104 times, I think. So,
yeah, I'm also on that. It's definitely on 100 plus at this point. For the first 18 months of my daughter's life, all she wanted to listen to was Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson has this like bit on like a segment on her show. It's called Kellyoke, where she just like sings a cover, and that's all my daughter would want to watch. She'd be like, Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. She just adored it. Now it has switched to K-pop Demon Hunters and Wheels on the Bus. K-pop Demon Hunters and Wheels on the Bus are the only things she'll listen to at the moment.
Is there a specific version of Wheels on the Bus?
the ludicrous version.
She likes it best when we sing it, but it's the Wiggles Wheels on the Bus.
Is the number one movie from Justin to Kelly? Is that the first option?
Oh wow, that's a great pull. That's a great callback.
Just to keep with the Kelly Clarkson theme.
Can't believe they tried to make Justin a thing after that. Kelly's the GOAT. Anyways,
that's a little sweets to you.
K-pop Demon Hunters is the backup if you guys don't want to pay money to watch one battle after another, which is now available on video on demand.
Dean would like that more.
I would personally pay money to not watch.
I actually would pay money for Dean to watch Demon Hunters.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
And Rob.
I mean, my vote would be for one battle after another. I've been meaning to go see it. I never saw it. I had plans. It wouldn't work out. PTA is my guy. He's my guy.
Do I have to buy it or can we rent it?
You can rent it.
Is it rentable now? I don't know.
I think so. I don't know.
Was it?
I thought I saw a thing pop up on my screen, buy or rent, but those are kind of. I figured the two options I'd throw out there. It's tough for me to just like
It's $20.
pick one that is already on streaming, because like I'm sure there's thousands of great movies I've never
Hey,
watched.
listen,
but I don't really
it
know
took
what they are,
11
so I know
weeks.
the new ones.
Took 11 weeks for you to get here. Don't waste your shot. You don't know. if
One
it's
battle
coming
after
again.
another, K-pop Demon Hunters. Your call, guys. I would love to discuss one battle after another with you guys. That's
I've seen one battle after another, so I shouldn't have a vote. And I'm open to everything.
Rob?
I'm fine with spending the $20, but it's up to
You
guys.
you also don't want to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. So we got 2 people who don't want to watch that.
I'm gonna show up dressed up as a K-pop.
3 people
Demon
who have
Hunter.
seen one
It
battle
was, I
after
think it was
another.
I think it was the most popular Halloween costume. I'm pretty sure as well.
I gotta
Is
win. You
somebody
guys
other
just keep
than
wanting to do
Daigle
all these
seen
good
one battle
movies.
after another?
Sure.
Has somebody other than Daigle seen one battle after
No.
another?
Rich
I
has.
have not seen
Oh.
it. No, Braden's went and seen it. I did not see it.
Oh, let's do one battle after another then.
I think so too. If I win 2 weeks in a row, we're going K-pop Demon Hunters. But I would love to discuss one battle after another with you guys.
No, I have to win because we have to watch a bad movie. We haven't watched a bad movie in a long time, and the audience deserves us breaking down a bad movie. So,
You have a couple in the chamber, Rob?
yeah, and it's gonna be real bad.
Where it comes full circle, like Arrival, it gets good. It's
Yeah.
Also, it looks like Mike Gesicki is going to play this weekend.
Oh, I saw the practice. Yeah, I saw
about
his windows open.
All the Bengals are coming back.
Is he like 3K?
I didn't
or
get a chance to
3.5?
say
Well,
it
except
on the
Jamar
show,
Chase.
guys.
Except the one that matters.
Except the good
I'm
one.
gonna win the pick six
Ones.
show 2 weeks in a row, and this week it's gonna be with the Tyrod Taylor double stack.
Well, listen, you can't steal my Adonai Mitchell play.
I was on AD Mitchell and John Mechie before.
Oh,
the
if I
show
play
started,
Lamar,
man.
I'm playing AD Mitchell.
Who's
Just
the
to
rest
let
of
you
the stack?
We're all playing AD Mitchell.
Tyrod, AD Mitchell,
Only if I play
John
Lamar.
Mechie, and then you play Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, McBride, and Derrick Henry.
Why do you play John? You don't have to play John Mechie. You can do something else.
But why not?
Why do you
Don't tell me.
But
The
why
double
not?
stack, Dean, the correlation.
You don't have to double stack it.
You don't want my life.
By the way, Gesicki is 2.6. Wait, is that a 6 or an 8? 2.6 on DK.
Ooh.
That's of note.
You know, without T. Higgins, he blew up. Maybe we could use the correlation without Jamar Chase. Could be the same thing, Dean. AD
Anything
Mitchell and Mike Gesicki, that's like less than 6K.
And less than 6 points, possibly. right
yeah, for sure.
now. All
Less
right.
than 6K is also the amount of money the movie that I'm gonna pick next time made. Whenever it's my turn.
That was the budget.
It's like a Rob home movie.
Gonna pick one of those like Amazon Prime student films that you can find on
Just-
No,
there.
we're just gonna watch Troll 2, and you're gonna like it.
It's just the Bloomhouse movie.
Is
We're
that
gonna
All
like
right,
a-
well, the chat, I don't understand the chat schedule. They do a lot of weird things and then like put us on mute and save us for work the next day, or don't watch the movie or don't listen to the movie segment until they've seen the movie. So someone put in the chat, someone write in there one battle after another.
I did.
Okay,
I
good. Because I don't know. Again, I don't know their schedule, but they like when we write the
Like
movie in the chat.
baseball world,
Whatever.
Since he's got us on mute watching Arrival right now.
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
Respect. All right, that's it. We're locking in. I'm very excited, actually. I'm very excited to watch one battle after another. Gotta play some
We're a
defense
good
going
movie
forward.
on.
We gotta play some defense against TJ and Rob, is what I'm hearing. Daigle and Rich, we gotta step it up.
Daigle's fine with K-pop Demon Hunters, and Rich has already seen it, man. It's just you guys. It's just you and Rob.
All right, well, you know what? Me and you,
And
Rob.
I'm gonna play defense, Dean. I'm gonna play a ton of defense.
Yeah.
You
Y'all
play
need,
a whole
y'all need to
lineup
talk about
of
y'all's
people.
lineups so you don't play the same players. That way you can box out TJ.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna roll out Tyrod Taylor and take it
Yeah,
down.
that's true. You're not going to be blocking anybody.
No. TJ, tell the people where they can find you.
Agentsoffandom.com, on socials, on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. We just had a 2-hour plus podcast today talking about the first 4 seasons of Stranger Things, giving our predictions for season 5, which drops next week. We already had a podcast come out on the Running Man. We got 2 more for movies coming out in the next bit. We'll do a Wicked for Good one next week, and then a Knives Out Wake Up Dead Man the week after. So lots of exciting stuff coming up over at Agents of Fandom.
Rob?
Go watch us on Talk is Jericho a couple weeks ago. We just got over 100,000 views on that channel, and
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
and he
That's
sent me a
awesome.
congratulations, and so go give it some more views.
You were talking about the ghost hunting stuff, I assume?
Yeah. We go on there. We talk about ghost stuff. We're actually gonna go hang out with him at a very haunted location in 2 weeks. So
You can't
Rob,
say
can you
anything.
get me an interview with Edge?
no, I can't. I have one wrestling connection. It's Chris Jericho. That's my
I would
one
talk about
thing.
money plane the entire time.
Yes.
Oh yes.
We're covering Percy Jackson on the podcast next, and he is Ares, the god of war, in it. And he actually he's really good.
Let's
So he
go
was
see
getting
Brad.
Vikings,
Edges?
wasn't
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and he's like he does a really good job.
he? Just not a money plane. That's all.
Rumors Jericho going to WWE. I know Rob can't say anything. I don't know what he knows or doesn't know, but I did see there were some rumors popping up on my timeline. Daigle, where can the people find you?
Why were they popping up on your timeline?
I get weird things. I don't know.
Right. EstablishArun.com, where we actually just released our preparing for the playoffs exclusive episode for free on the Establish the Run podcast feed. So all you people who want to stash the Saints defense for whatever reason, weeks 15 through 17, just go there. You can listen to every position discussed there.
Who's the most
Saints defense
popular?
looking great this week. It's the best defense of the week.
They do look pretty good. Kirk Cousins. Rich didn't give the stat. What was it? The one touchdown for Cousins in the last 8 games.
217 passes in the NFL. He's thrown one touchdown pass.
What can go wrong with Darnell?
And someone
Mooney?
tweeted me back. He was like, "You did not count the pick sixes," and I said, "Yes, sir. You're right. He got me."
All right, 7 touchdowns. Rich, where can the people find you?
Yeah, Sharp Football Analysis, writing up all the games. If there's any missed, you can check that out. Other than that, looking forward to talking to you guys for our favorite slate of the year, usually next week, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure. This was a long one. Do it that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, win something in week 12 for Rich and Daigle and Rob and TJ and Darnell Washington. I was Dean. We're out of here. Oh,